Homie head in the trap spot, got a throwaway in the stash spot. Boy, you not real, like a Sasquatch. Boy, I'm
so they ain't gonna catch no fame, cause I'm worth too many M's, you dig? Hey, what's going on, man?
you ain't from the hood. Nah, you ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to set blood, ain't from the hood. Hell nah. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Oh, I live in the hood, ass nigga. Never got put on, always claiming the hood though. Oh, you fucking with the homegirl, but don't come to the hood with none of your damn homeboys. They don't get a pass. Had the little homies press they ass, where your tattoos? Hey, your mama waking up to some bad news. The plug saying groove, I'm a dime. I was long in the race, skinny nigga with the braid. Took a 2-man fade, I'm really from the hood. I took a fucking break to get my money right, but I was begging on the plane in the meeting with Jermaine.
Wait, this thing ain't showing, and the picture ain't showing?
They forgot where I came from. I was gang banging when it wasn't fun. Homie doing life right now, cause we don't play from the hood. Nah, you ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood.
The video supposed to be showing, and
you ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood.
what's wrong with this video?
Niggas always claim to set blood, ain't from the hood. Hell nah.
What's wrong with this video?
You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. And that goes for these hoes too. Start fucking on niggas and throwing these niggas hood up. Ha,
What is wrong with this video?
Every gator homie head in the trap spot, got a throwaway in the stash spot. Boy, you not real, like a Sasquatch. Boy, I'm so high, I'm seeing astronauts. Boy, I ball hard, I need a mascot. Oh, and Swahili, I'm a damu. My little cousin making paru. My nigga Uzi, he from Fire Deuce. Pad blows, I be hanging with some real whoops. Gang signs out the window when we drive coupes. Making money with some crips like it's 92. Banging on tracks, banging on tracks. Back in my days, it was banging on. You ain't from the hood. Nah, you ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to set blood, ain't from the hood. Hell nah. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood.
Fuck Chris Brown, nigga. Pull up in the hood right now, nigga. Catch a fade, nigga. Fuck, nigga. Frogs.
You ain't from the hood.
Wait a minute, I can't see my video. What's wrong with my video? What's up, Randy K? I can't see my video. What the hell is wrong with my video? Where the hell is this? What's wrong with my video? Why it's not showing my video? Hold on, let me go to this thing. Let me go to this thing right here. I wanted to do a show because I was mad, damn it. I was mad. Why this? Okay, automatic. Why this thing ain't showing my video? Oh, there we go. Here we go. We on now. We on now. I was trying to see what was wrong with my video. I didn't get a chance to show the donations or anything. I got to show the donations. I got to show the donations. I got to give a shout out to the people who made this show possible. Randy K, good looking out. Randy K on another donation. Randy K just donated again. Good looking out on the donation, Randy K. Huh? We got to give a shout out to the people. Marco, shout out to Marco. Good looking out, Marco. DP, is you with me? Huh? 160, my boy. Silverback, not the gorilla, not my baby mama. P. Mosley, always up in the house. Right? Time! We got to give it out of time. Mrs. Beth Roberts, executive producer, Miss Beth Roberts. Roy Jones, not the boxer. We got to give it out to Dark Skin King. You know what I'm saying? We got to give it to Dark Skin King. David Tillman. Give it up to David. That's a brother right there. Miss Coco. My sister, Miss Coco. Roger Bowling. Good looking out, Roger Bowling. Samantha Roberts. No relationship to Beth Roberts. Diane Pereira. That sounds like a spec name. Kobe. Eli Kobe. Also, Philly Phil, good looking out on the donation. Philly Phil, I ain't the one. Good looking out on the donation. I ain't the one. And DS triple one. DS triple one. You know what I'm saying? Good looking out. Now, I woke up this morning and I was mad as shit. I thought it was going to be a red wave. I'm like, it's going to be a red wave. We finna win the House. We going to win the Senate. We going to win all that shit. Now, we still going to win the House, right? But the Senate is up in growls. We don't know anything about the Senate right now, right? So I'm like, I thought I was gonna be on Patreon or something. I thought I was gonna be on Patreon. I thought I was gonna be doing a Patreon video. I thought I was gonna be doing some skits and stuff like that. But I woke up this morning and I was upset. And what I do when I get upset, I make videos. I go out and do research. Now, I'm going to show black people, if you black, I don't have to rename this video, right, to black slavery or something, right, because I'm finna show black people, because I'm mad right now, I'm finna show you how the white man has got your ass enslaved right now. And if your ass voted Democrat yesterday, I'm finna show you how the system, right, how the system used Kyrie Irving to show you how they lynch niggas and how they got you control, right? We're going to go back into slavery. We're going to go back into history. We're going to go back into facts. We're going to do the future. We're going to do the past. But I'm finna let you niggas know, right? And I'm finna give you a history lesson on how they enslaving you and how your ass is still on the plantation. Now, if you ain't heard the Willie Lynch letter, right, it was a letter, right? Back in the days, they didn't have like letters. They didn't have the internet, right? So if you want to have a business card, you got to put your shit on the card. Hey, look, I'm a slave master. I beat the shit out of slaves, and I keep them in the line and stuff like that. And I can train your slaves, right? And I can train you better how to train your slaves and treat your slaves better so you can have better products, so you can have more production and all that. So it was a book, or no, it was a pamphlet on how to keep a nigga enslaved, right? And if you run this pamphlet, and if you read this, and you follow my rules, you can keep your black people or your slaves enslaved for the next 300 years, right? Now, some people say this is a myth, that this wasn't really a letter, right? That it came out in the 70s, and somebody said it wasn't really a letter, and it's been debunked. But also some people said that it was real, right? Now, you can be the judge, right? No matter if it, because both of them was fucked up, because if this was a slavery, right? If this happened back in the slavery day and somebody wrote this during slavery, it let you know how brutal slavery was, right? Now, if somebody wrote this in the 70s or the 60s or something like that, what somebody said, right, it shows you what kind of mindset people had, right? Racist mindset people had just recently, right? So we finna hold you no longer, right? I finna get into the history on how they enslave black niggas. Now, if you got any black friends, right, now you might want to show them this video one day, right? You want to get mad at them because it's a bunch of, let me do a disclaimer first of all. Disclaimer, the views on this video, I do not agree or sponsor any views or comments by anybody on this video. This is a documentary video. It's for educational purposes only. I'm only doing this video to educate the masses, right? I'm not there's no victim up in here. I'm not talking about anybody in particular, right? I'm just educating, right? I'm an educator. I'm not a history teacher up in here, son of a bitch, right? So let's get into it, right? Now this is how the white man, should I do a racist, should I do a racist white man, or should I just say the black man or the niggas, right? I'm going to use both of them, right? So this is how the white man is crucifying Kyrie Irving right in your face. Right in your face. They crucifying him. Huh? Let's roll it. Oh, wait, I got to push unmute. I got to push unmute. I got to push unmute. There we go. Let's roll it.
We've got some breaking news tonight from the NBA.
What the hell is wrong? Why is not playing?
The Brooklyn Nets.
Hold on, I must got to push mute over here. What the hell is wrong with this sound?
Nets have announced that.
The hell is wrong with this sound?
Wasn't enough that he.
What the? Oh my God! What the hell is wrong with this sound?
He apologized.
I'm telling me the sound messed up too. Okay, here we go. Here we go. The sound was messed up. Okay, here we go. There go the sound. Here we go. Let's get into it. Right? Like I said, if you got any black friends, any nigga friends that they need to learn their history lesson, right? This is the channel and this is the video for all niggas to learn on why your ass is in the condition your ass is in today, right? Y'all ain't gonna know I'm gonna get so deep in this video. Y'all gonna be like, after y'all watch this video, you gonna be like, damn, black and educated motherfucker. I only got this video together because I was mad. I was mad at the Democrats. I was mad at the black people in Atlanta and Philadelphia and all that. I'm gonna let you know who you voted for. You voted for your slave master, you stupid son of a bitch. Here we go.
We've got some breaking news tonight from the NBA. The Brooklyn Nets have announced that they are suspending point guard Kyrie Irving for at least 5 games without pay.
without pay, right? They're gonna without pay 5 games without pay, right? That's how they do niggas, right? Because remember, Kyrie shared something. I'm glad some celebrities are taking up for Kyrie Irving, right? I'm glad some big names are taking up for Kyrie Irving, saying that shit is wrong, right? How should this man, right? Why should he get stripped of his his finances, right? His humility, his whatever that word is, I'm trying to pronounce, humility, whatever, humanity, whatever. How you gonna strip this man in broad daylight? Listen, black people, this is how the white man do you, and you know what type of white man I'm talking about, but this is how the white man do you when they want to make an example out of a nigga, and that nigga is you. This is how they do you.
Wasn't enough that he apologized. Now they're trying to rob. I believe they're trying to rob the man of his dignity. They're trying to make him grovel to come and get his job back. Wasn't enough.
Wait. They want him to grovel and come and get his job back. What kind of shit is this? Black people, listen to what I'm telling you, right? The slavery ain't ended. You just got different benefits. And if you don't wake up now, and if you don't take heed now, and if you don't break these chains, right, and stop listening to these people and let these people enslave you and trap you and convince you, right, and influence you, right, you're still going to be in slavery, right? Because they influence your whole culture. And you know what type of white people I'm talking about. They influence our whole culture. That's why we don't got no culture, because we let so many other people influence our culture. Huh? Jordan, the #1 symbol of black culture damn near, that's owned by a Jewish person, right? Huh? When you go to Jacob the Jeweler, right? That's a Jewish person, right? When you sign them contracts, that's a Jewish person, right? So when I'm telling you, black people, in order to break out of them chains, right? You got to know your history, right? Now, Kyrie is getting persecuted because he say, I know where I'm from. I'm from the same continent where you say you're from. That's where my people are from. I'm from one of the 4 lost tribes. For you to say I'm not, right? That's racist against you, because how can you prove I'm not? Right? How can you prove I'm not what I say I am, right? And for you to say I'm something different than what I say I am, right? That's racist of you. But they don't want to say that. They don't want to say that. Let's get into it.
Enough that he apologized. Now they're trying to rob. I believe they're trying to rob the man of his dignity. They're trying to make him grovel to come and get his job back.
The suspension comes after a recent controversy where Irving shared a link to an anti-Semitic film last week. The team says that he has refused to acknowledge that the documentary had hateful material.
And I don't agree with that. A man said he was sorry. Hey, I was wrong.
So wait. They had anti-Semitic shit up in there, right? Think about this. They said it had anti-Semitic shit up in there. But the person in the movie, what it was about black people. Right? It was about black people. So you saying it was hateful shit, and you saying black people talking about their heritage was anti-Semitic.
So when Sarah Silverman does blackface, or when Don Imus says nappy-headed hoes.
Yeah, I would have liked it.
Oh, remember when I forgot that. Remember when Don Lamas said nappy head hoes? Did anybody remember that? Well, I got that. I'm supposed to be here somewhere. Did anybody remember Don Lamas called women nappy head hoes black women? We don't remember that, huh? Let me refresh your memory. Let me refresh your memory if you don't remember when Don Lamas called some black women some nappy head hoes. So nappy head hoes. Oh, let me do it this way. Okay, do it this way. Do it this way. Now what happened to Mr. Don Limas when he called them black women nappy headed hoes? What happened to him? Did he get persecuted? Why they don't got it right here? Why they don't have it? If say download it. Oh man, I guess they didn't have it right here. I guess I'll do it right here. Boom. I'll go right here. Where we at? I'll go right here. Boom. That nappy head hoes, right? White people can get away with that type of shit all day. Look at the nappy head hoes, right? Look at the nappy head hoes.
Oh, man, that's some and shoes and some hardcore hoes. That's a nappy headed hose there.
Did you hear that?
Final.
Nappy-headed
Yeah,
hoes.
Tennessee won last night. 7th championship for Pat Summitt, man. They beat Rutgers by 13 points.
That's some rough girls from Rutgers, man. They got tattoos and
some hardcore hoes.
That's some nappy-headed hoes there. I'm gonna tell you that now. Man, that's some. Ooh.
Huh? That's a nappy-headed hoe. Don Imus can get away with that, right? Did he have to apologize to black people? Did he have to do $500,000 to the black cause and anything like that? Hell to the no. But Kyrie Irving got to do it. He didn't call no Jewish people no nappy-headed hoes.
To see him, hey, I shared a link to my page. It was brought to my attention that I offended a group of people.
Or when Howard Stern calls somebody the N-word in the skit, or when Brett Favre takes money from the state of Mississippi.
And for that, I would like to say I'm sincerely sorry. That was not my intention. In the hope of trying to enlighten and educate my people, I was disrespectful, I was disparaging to another group of people.
You hear that? He was trying to educate his people. He was trying to educate his people. He didn't say, watch this movie and come up with your own concept of it. He didn't say nothing about the movie. He didn't quote the movie. He didn't get no opinion of the movie. All he done was shared a link. And look how they persecuted his ass, right? It's not bad enough. He said, I'm sorry. They want to put his ass through the fire, right, for sharing a link. This is how they crucify black people in the public, huh? This is a white man crucifying a black man in public. Black people, you better have this man back against them certain group of white people. And you know white people I'm talking about.
Mr. Irving also refused to unequivocally say that he has no anti-Semitic beliefs.
Could have said that, Skip, and maybe it wouldn't have gotten to this point.
We don't ask them to get sensitivity training. We don't ask them to donate $500,000. We don't ask them to meet with the Black National Caucus.
A statement from the team reads in part, quote, "We are of the view that he, Mr. Irving, is currently unfit to be associated with the Brooklyn Nets."
They gave him.
But you see how they treat a black man? You see how they treat a black man? They don't treat the white man like that. They want the black man to apologize, go meet with groups, write a book, do a movie, playing a theater, a play. They want him to do all kind of shit to prove he apologized or he's sorry. Debunk the movie, right? Then they want to suspend him, and then he got to donate $500, right? And then he got to get on the whole world and say he's sorry. But sorry is not enough. We don't want you to say sorry. We want you to do more than that.
Gave him this manifesto, Skip, of what they want him to. I'm like, now come on now, y'all guys, look.
They apologize, and then you know what? The rest of the world moves on. But what I feel like is happening here, and that's how in the black community, like we've been told that's how the process works.
We have decided that Kyrie will serve a suspension without pay until he satisfies a series of objective remedial measures that address the harmful impact of his conduct.
Right? Think about that, Bert. That's how the process works. Oh, somebody does a blackface. Oh, it was a misunderstanding. We got it. Okay? You know, is that person really racist? Probably not. Was it ignorant? Probably so. Okay, we understand it. We move forward. We don't like it. We would love to hold them accountable.
We would love to hold the president of Canada accountable, We would love the old governor, right? I forgot that state with the babies and shit. We would love to hold him accountable for having blackface, The bitch on The View. We would love to hold her accountable for having blackface. But we don't hold none of them accountable. They can apologize or don't apologize, and we forgive them. Because why? They from the white group. They from the white people. They from the white, I don't want to say that group of people, right? They all connected to them people. It's not just white people. It's a certain group of white people. He not trying to be racist. Right? And he don't want to say it because he got a job at ESPN. But he getting tired of this shit. He getting tired of them persecuting a black man, right? In front of the whole world, and you know what I'm saying, for the world to see. And telling them, like, your history is a lie. What you think is your history is a fucking lie. They trying to erase this man. They trying to erase history. Because they have the power to do that. Don't think this, don't play this, or don't suggest this, or don't do no research on it, because what we say is the truth, and no matter what documentary you make about heroes going to such and such group, right? Negroes, right? Because we was over there, we was heroes. How the hell we become over here and become Negroes? You feel what I'm saying? Heroes over there, right? We was supposed to be from the 4 lost tribes. We was kings and all that shit from the African continent and all those shit. We was kings and all those stuff, right? We was kings, heroes, saving nations, saving all that. We come over here, we Negroes. From heroes to Negroes. That's how the story go. Disclaimer, I'm not promoting no movie. I'm just saying that on the GP. I want them to think I'm promoting no movie. I ain't promoting shit. I haven't even saw no movie, right? I'm just saying, how did we go from a hero to a zero? Over here, we ain't shit. Why go against somebody that's trying to teach us, hey, we was once kings. We once had our own land. We was once heroes. We once had a culture. We once had our own land. Why is wrong to teach black kids that? Why is wrong to teach black kids, you know what I'm saying, their origins? Right? All black people don't come from, I mean, you can track your heritage and your origins back to certain countries. Right? But since we do it, it's a problem. How you know he ain't got the what you call the test? And they told him, hey nigga, you got family that was from over there. How you know he ain't got that test? And they told him what he was mixed with, and they told him where he came from. They got ways you can find out, you know. But they're trying to tell him, your history ain't true, because we are the kings and the rulers and this and this. We are the true sons of God. We are all of this, not you. Right? So they're stripping this black man in front of everybody for the world to see.
But society and having a lot of black people in positions of power, we don't have the governability to do that.
Yeah, y'all going to y'all. It's kind of like you build a relationship, and the other party say, well, okay, I need you to do this. I said I was sorry.
Negroes of America.
Now we finna get into slavery in America, right? How they turned the black man into a slave this very age. It's been planned, right? All of this that the black man is going through right now, right? All the violence, all the anger, all the drugs, all this shit was planned. Who was planned by? The white man, right? Who that white man was from? He was from the Democratic Party, right? The Willie Lynch letter was a Democratic document. Don't let nobody tell you anything different. It was a pamphlet from somebody from the Democratic Party that hated niggas and Republicans. Huh? So I'm finna we're finna get into, and I got an expert, right, on here who said, I don't know where the fuck he from, right, but you know it's an old video if it's in black and white. He finna tell you how the government and the white man, right, got you in the condition you in right now. And you know how you know it's true? Because these books and this interview is from years ago, and it's still going on to this very fucking day. This is how the white man has got you enslaved. This is how you make a slave, right? This is how you break a slave. This is how you make a slave. If you want to make a slave, right, the old school way and the new school way, this is how you do it.
Daniel Moynihan, until this summer Assistant Secretary of Labor, was in charge of the study and was staggered by it. Moynihan says the Negro family structure is collapsing.
The Negro structure, you hear that? That was back in the 60s or the 50s. The Negro structure of the family is collapsing. How was the black family, right, more united, more structured, right, more of a unit back then than it is now? You don't think that's by design? The black family was a unit back then, right? Now, right, we are separated. Back then, we were separating, right? The black family is collapsing. You know why? Because the white man put this in place. Huh? I'm getting into some Farrakhan shit. The white man put this in place.
Greetings. Gentlemen, I greet you here on the bank of the James River in the year of our Lord 1712. First, I should thank you, the gentlemen of the colony of Virginia, for bringing me here. I am here to help you solve some of your problems with slaves. Your invitation reached me on my modest plantation in the West Indies, where I have experimented with some of the newest and still have the oldest methods for control of slaves.
Negroes of America. Daniel Moynihan, until this summer Assistant Secretary of Labor, was in charge of the study and was staggered by it. Moynihan says the Negro family structure is collapsing.
Right? Through slavery. Right? Through slavery. So somebody wrote a book on how can you train a slave. I'm finna teach you how to train slaves. This is back in the days, right? If it wasn't back in the day, it's still going on right now. This motherfucker is genius if it wasn't back in the day. This is how you train a slave.
Ancient Rome would envy us if my program is implemented. As our boat sailed south on the James River, named for our illustrious king, whose version of the Bible we cherish, I saw enough to know that your problem is not unique. While Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human beings along its highways in great numbers, you are here using the tree and the rope on occasions. I caught the whiff of a dead slave hanging from a tree a couple of miles back.
Whoa! I caught the whiff of a dead slave hanging from a tree a while back. They're destroying your property. That's property you're destroying. We're going to get into that later on.
We asked him the reasons.
The first is, remember that American slavery was the worst slavery the world has ever known.
You are not only losing valuable stock by hangings, you're having uprisings. Slaves are running away. Your crops are sometimes left in the fields too long for maximum profit. You suffer occasional fires. Your animals are killed. Gentlemen, you know what your problems are. I do not need to elaborate. I am not here to enumerate your problem. I am here to introduce you to a method of solving them.
Right? I'm into making, modernizing your slave techniques. Right? I'm here to help you get maximum production out of your slaves.
We can't get that into our heads because the standard of living of the slaves was high, perhaps. We don't see how awful it was.
In my bag here, I have a foolproof method for controlling your black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if you installed it correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years.
And that was, And who plan was this? This is Democratic Party plan, right? They already got 200 years out of your ass. They trying to get another 100 out of your ass. This is a Democratic plan to have the black man enslaved, not just physically, right? They thought it was going to be physically, right? But not physically, but also mentally. This is how you break a black man. This is how you create a slave.
We deprive them of the sacraments as Christians. We deprive them of any institutions of family life. We deprive them of any rights as human beings.
Huh? No family life, no rights. We deprived you of everything. Huh? The Democratic Party, the white man, deprived the black family of everything. Did you hear what he said? Everything. We had no family, right? How is it that we have no families now? Think about it. We had no families. We had no families in the slavery days. We were separated. We were sold off. We was murdered. We was all that. How come we have no family today? We were murdered. We sold off to prison. We were leaving the home. All that. Think about it. The same thing going on right now is the same thing went on in the slavery days with the black families. And why? Because the white man separated them.
My method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves, and I take them differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes.
Fear, envy, and distrust. Huh? Fear, envy, and distrust. That all goes on in the neighborhood. All right? You got to be feared for walking down the street. You distrust your neighbor from another hood, right? And you envy shit you ain't got. So you go rob, cheat, and steal to go get it, right? That's what's going on in today's society. Slavery on the mental aspect.
There's a very long and complicated history, but we did. There's no other slavery like it in history.
These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. Take this simple little list of differences and think about it. On top of my list is age, but it's there only because it starts with an A. The second is color or shade. There is intelligence, size, sex, sizes of plantations, status on plantations, attitude of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley, on a hill, east, west, north, south, have fine hair, coarse hair, or is tall or short.
A slave is a slave, right? Spread them out if you want to, right? But we still gonna know what a slave is, right? No matter if it's light-skinned, no matter if he brown-skinned, right? We all know a nigga is a nigga.
And there was no Negro family at all in an enslaved world.
Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action. But before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust.
About even the platforms that continue to promote and profit a movie that is considered anti-Semitic to billions of people.
Huh? To billions of people, right? Billions of people have started this movie. Billions of people have agreed with this movie, right? So what you're going to say is billions of people are wrong because you say you are right? Think about this. If he's going to say Kyrie Irving is anti-Semitic for liking and agreeing with this movie, he has to say the billions of people that also agree with this movie also are anti-Semitic. And they say they come from the same damn place. Think about it, y'all. Think about it. Huh? Can you think about it for me for a minute? If Kyrie racist, everybody who shared that tweet, liked that tweet, retweeted that tweet, everybody done it is anti-Semitic.
They don't have to be accountable. Who is accountable? But we're going to put everything on the shoulders of Kyrie Irving, who, even though he said, I cannot be anti-Semitic because if I know where I came from, stating that he's one of the 4 lost tribes.
But they say you can't be from the 4 lost tribes. They the 4 lost tribes. Huh? You can't know your history. Huh? They still in history.
Envy stronger than adulation, respect, or admiration. The black slaves, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands.
He's saying that blacks and Jews come from the same entity, the same thing. But we don't want to understand nuance. We want to be triggered by words. And we like fire. And we like things that are, going viral on social media, and everybody has some kind of hot take, and we're calling people idiots, and we're calling people names because that's what we do.
And that's exactly what the slave master wants you to do. Because what we done back in the day when we were slaves, right? We were separated, right? We hated on each other, right? Because that's what the white man or the slave owner wanted us to do. Tell on each other. Snitch on each other. Right? Distrust each other. All that.
Successful black love, successful strength in black families is not possible. You're not supposed to show that. Why? Because I benefit from that man being in jail. I benefit from that woman being on my program. I benefit from that child being tossed into my program.
Do you hear that? I benefit from that person being in jail. That's the black man, right? I benefit from that woman basically being on the system. And I benefit from that kid being fatherless, right? And programming. And how do I program them? And how do they program the kids right now? Through their program? CRT.
I am the direct descendant of the North American slave trade. Both my parents are black, all 4 of my grandparents are black, all 8 of my great-great-grandparents, all 16 of my great-greats. On my mother's side, my ancestors were enslaved in Alabama. On my father's side, we were enslaved in Texas. I am not oppressed. I'm not oppressed, and I'm not a victim. I'm neither oppressed nor a victim. I travel all across this country of ours, and I check into hotels, and I fly commercially, and I walk into retail establishments, and I order food in restaurants. I go wherever I want, whenever I want. I am treated with kindness, dignity, and respect, literally from coast to coast.
We just destroy each other. I ain't gonna destroy each other, man.
Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male.
That's what CRT does, right? It teaches a history of racism. That's what CRT is for, right? You gotta put people against each other, gang banging and all that other stuff. You gotta put the black person against each other, right? Light skin against black, old against young, right? You gotta cause all this confusion.
And the young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slaves versus the dark-skinned slaves.
I'm not going to do that. Is Kyrie Irving anti-Semitic? Hell no.
I have 3 children. They are not oppressed either, although they are victims. I've taught my children they are victims of 3 things: their own ignorance, their own laziness, and their own poor decision-making. That is all.
Could he have gone about it maybe a different way? That's what I would have advised him to do. But I'm not going to let you guys sit out here and make this dude out to be like he is a villain, like he is a bad person. He is looking to explore his heritage.
Huh? Explore his heritage. You can't explore your heritage if it go against theirs, right? You can't explore your history if it go against theirs, right? So how is that somebody not trying to erase history or trying to predict or control history?
Now you can crucify me if you want. I don't give a damn anymore. It's time for people to start speaking out with nuance and speaking out on the principles they stand for.
You must use the female versus the male and the male versus the female. You must also have your white servants and overseers distrust all blacks.
Right? And who do the overseer, right? If you say overseer right fast, it's turned into officer. Overseer. It's officer. So who, when they say you make your overseers not to trust the blacks, and the blacks or the slaves not to trust the overseers, right? Who the fuck is the overseers? And who Joe Biden teach the black people not to trust? The overseers. The cause confusion. You must have the slaves scared of the overseers, which is the officers.
Look, we've seen the mass shootings in Charleston, South Carolina, El Paso, Texas, and Pittsburgh, last year in Atlanta, this week in Dallas, Texas, and now in Buffalo, New York. White supremacy is a poison.
But it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust only us.
Why in this nation do black...
Right? Why do Joe Biden preach that and Kamala Harris that they're the only person that can fix the black community? They got commercials about them fixing the black community. Only trust us. The Republicans can't do it.
Black Americans wake up knowing that they can lose their life in the course of just living their life.
Part of the point of freedom is to be free from brutality, from injustice, from racism, and all of its manifestations.
We have to let people know that we not only understand their struggle, but they understand the fact they deserve to be treated with dignity. They gotta know we're listening.
Reforming policing in this country means creating a national standard on use of force and conditioning.
But they understand the fact they deserve to be treated with dignity. They gotta know we're listening.
Reforming policing in this country means creating a national standard on use of force and conditioning federal funds for police departments on adoption of that standard. It's about reining in qualified immunity. We hold police officers accountable.
We can't turn away. Now is the time for racial justice.
You hear that? Now is the time for racial justice. You gotta have, right? You gotta have your slave master, right? And you gotta have your slaves scared and believe that you're the only person that can save them. That you are the only person they can run to, right? You're the only person they can depend on. Slavery through democratic policies.
Gentlemen, these kits are your keys to control. Use them. Have your wives and children use them. Never miss an opportunity. If used intensely for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful. It describes the rationale and results of the Anglo-Saxons' ideas and methods of ensuring the master-slave relationship. The origin and development of a social being called the Negro. Let us make a slave. What do we need? First of all, we need a black nigger man.
A black nigger man. This is not me. Disclaimer, this is the video saying nigger man. That's not me. I say nigger. Nigga. He said nigger. He putting an ER on it, right? Right? In order to make a slave, you must have the ingredients to make a slave, right? That's a man and a woman, right? You must have there's no other way to make a slave, right? Besides a man, a black man, and a black woman. Right? That's how you make a slave.
A pregnant nigger woman and her baby nigger boy.
None of you will get it that way.
Look, they still around doing blackface and costumes, right? You see how white people and liberals think about this? Everybody should be free. Everybody should be liberal, right? And they say they say, oh, this is racist and you do this, but they are okay with doing it they damn self. They call you racist, right? They say you wrong for doing it, but when they do it out of fun, right, it's nothing. They ain't got to apologize. It's not racist or nothing. They in the store with blackface on and prison outfits. They ain't got to apologize.
Do you guys understand the consequences of what you've just done? No. You guys are not going to get into a college. You guys are not going to get any scholarships because this is a hate crime.
We all dropped out of high school. It's okay.
If I still don't think it's appropriate for you guys to be doing this. It's really...
Second, we will use the same basic principle that we use in breaking a horse, combined with some more sustaining factors. What we do with horses is that we break them from one form of life to another. That is, we reduce them from their natural state in nature. Whereas nature provides them with the natural capacity to take care of their offspring, we break that natural string of independence from them, and thereby create a dependency status.
Right? You break the will of a black woman. You break the will of a black man, therefore creating a dependency status, right? Who always hollering this rescue plan? Who always talking about what they fit to do for blacks, right? They developing a dependent plan for black people, right, to be quiet and obey. Look at all the social policies and social programs they say they got for black people, reparations and all that shit, right? They're paying you to be quiet. They're paying you to be a slave. They're paying you to be dependent on them so you won't try to improve your life, right? Because if you're dependent on them and they spoon feeding you, you're going to be satisfied with whatever they give you. Huh? This is how you entrap a nigga. This is how you make a slave. It's not with the body, it's with the mind now.
And to Tulsa's Greenwood neighborhood, once known as a Black Wall Street that I visited on the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa Race Massacre. Together, these projects are going to uplift underserved communities and include them as key parts of America's economic recovery for the 21st century.
So that we may be able to get from them useful production for our business and pleasure.
We're putting people who have been left behind in the past or couldn't have been lifted out of anything before.
Huh? Who does Joe Biden sound like he talking about? He's talking about black people like they slaves. We're going to put in a program, right, for people who couldn't get out of it. Who they had to put a program for? Slaves. We're going to keep you satisfied. We're going to keep you spoon-fed, right, because you're a slave.
They're going to be part of this recovery.
For fear that our future generations may not understand the principles of breaking both of the beasts together, the nigger and the horse. 1. Both horse and niggers is no good to the economy in the wild or natural state.
Right? They're not good. You hear that? Niggers are not good in a wild or natural state, right? So what you got to do to a nigga, you got to lock him up. You got to take him out of his natural state, right? You got to put him in a box. right? What kind of box? Either a funeral box or a penitentiary box, right? You got to control the untamed nigga, right? You got to control him. Put him on drugs, right? Make him be homeless. Make him less of a threat to society. Because if he was smart, if he was educated, right? If he was productive, he'd be a threat to society. But if he on drugs, he in the penitentiary, or his ass in the grave, he's no longer a threat. Huh? So, untamed nigga is unwild. We must control him. Huh?
Then they would also take the black man out of the home and then also put him in prison because we didn't have anywhere to work once the factories are shut down.
Huh? Do you hear that? After slavery, right? After slavery, and after that great boom, economy boom, especially with black people, when it was good for, we was the masonry, we was the bricklayers, we was the painters, we was all that. We was the construction workers, we was the builders, we was the illegal immigrants, right? We was the first immigrants. But after that, right, when we started losing jobs and then the white people started taking up and coming and taking them jobs, right, it was hard for us, right? So guess what? Where they need to put you at now? They need to put you in prison because they can't have you out there in the wild. They can't have you out there roaming the street. They can't have you out there educating yourself. They can't have you out there being productive, right? So what they do, they put you somewhere in a private institute, right, where they can get where they can pay your ass 35 cents an hour to do some shit that they pay a motherfucker $15 for an hour. Huh? We're getting slave labor out of you. This is a new slave. If we can't tame, we're gonna tame wild niggas one way. Either we're gonna put them in a box or in a cell. One or the other. We don't care which one it is, but we're gonna put you in a box or we're gonna put your ass in a cell. We're gonna get one of them a free labor for life out of them, right? And the other one we ain't gotta worry about it ever again. Right?
This 3 investigation reveals black people are more likely to be wrongfully incarcerated for crimes they did not commit than any other group in America.
Huh? That's because we got to get wild niggas off the street. Huh? We got to get him off the street. Why are you thinking so many wrongful convicted black men, right, in jail right now? Because we got to get these niggas off the street. Some of these niggas be innocent. More black people been exonerated. Like half the people that's been exonerated were black. That means half the people got charged with fake crimes was black, right? 50%, over 50% of people were exonerated was black. Think about them numbers.
According to the National Registry of Exoneration, than any other group in America. According to the National Registry of Exonerations, while black people are just over 13% of the U.S. population, there are 53% of the 3,200 exonerations since 1989.
You hear that? We're 13% of the country, but we're 53% of the exonerations. That means people who got charged with crimes, got life in prison, electric chair, and all of those shit got exonerated, right? From life sentences and stuff like that. Out of the 3,300, half of them, 53% of them was black. Huh? And probably productive. Right? So what we do is we lock niggas up because they wow.
2. Both must be broken and tied together for orderly production.
But what we feel like happens with Kyrie is even after an apology, it's not enough. We feel like there needs to be more. And a lot of people I've spoken to over the last couple of days talk about this thing. Older mentors of mine talk about buck breaking.
Buck breaking.
3. For orderly future, special and particular attention must be paid to the female and the youngest offspring.
Women on food stamps, women on the county, they would offer women more money to not have the man in the house.
Huh? They will offer women money to not have the man in the house. Think about that. Right? They purposely broke up the black family. They paid the woman to spy on the man, right? And they finna talk about how in slavery, they used the woman to control the man, right? How they use the woman, right? And it's happening today, right? They're taking a man out of the house and using a woman to control the man. Now that man can't get a good job because he's on child support, right? Now he owes out the boy. He's gonna fuck around and go to prison, right? There's no way they can get married because if he in the house, she lose all her benefits, right? So they paying the woman to keep out the black man. This is a democratic policy.
4. Both must be crossbred to produce a variety and a division of labor.
Do you hear that? Did you hear what my boy say? He say, look, right? They call it bucking. Black people call it bucking, right? What they do in the Caribbean is bucking, right? What you do when bucking, you embarrass the biggest, strongest black man. I'm pretty sure everybody heard of that, right? You do shit with horses that they feel describe later on in this video, right? But bucking is something that they do in the Kyrie Irving right now. I'm telling you, we ain't out of slavery yet, y'all, unless you get the mental, get yourself mentally aware and mentally out of slavery. But long as your ass is mentally in slavery, you can never get out. They always got you trapped. They don't need your body if they got your mind.
5. Both must be taught to respond to you in a peculiar new language. 6. Psychological and physical instruction of containment must be created for both.
We'll go in the house and do a house check to see if there was any shoes, the size of a man, any hats, any outfits, to see if there was a man in the house.
Right? Think about this, right? And my mother was a perfect example. They used to come over my mother's house. I never knew what it was until I got older, right? They used to come over my mama's house and used to check shoes and check closets and stuff like that. They used to make sure my mother didn't have a man in the house. Because if it was a man's shoes, a man's outfits or something like that didn't belong, right? She would have to explain, and if it wasn't good enough, she would lose her benefits, right? So everybody knew when they make an appointment, well, we coming over this day, you know what I'm saying, make sure you're home, right? So you know if you got a boyfriend or whatever, they got to move all their shit out the house on that particular day, right? So, because they pay a woman, and they treated you like the police. They treat a black man like he was dope. They be looking under your bed for shoes and shit, looking in your closet, looking all in your dresser drawers and in your bathroom. It's like they're the fucking police. I'm like, damn, who is this? And we had to sit on the couch. I thought it was like, earlier I just thought it was like a manager or like probably a maintenance man or something, like checking out the house. But later on, I found out that was the social worker coming to say my mother had any men in the house. Shit went on for years. And I got older and I'm like, damn, that's what he coming over here for? Yeah. So when he come over, everybody got a plan. Take this over here, take that over here, because my mama had a boyfriend in the house. We had to have him move every other third month or something like that when a social worker came over and checked out the house. How can a black family, a black man, a black woman get anywhere in life when they pay a black woman to keep the man out the house?
We hold the 6 cardinal principles as truth to be self-evident, based upon the following discourse concerning the economics of breaking and tying the horse and the nigger together.
And that at the end of the day, he had to do what he was told to do because that's what was mandated of him.
All inclusive of the 6 principles laid down about. Accordingly, both a wild horse and a wild or natural nigger are dangerous.
Right? So Kyrie is dangerous, right? Niggas is dangerous. If you educated, you're dangerous, right? Because this is wild in a different way. But you can be wild in a shootout, and you can be wild as smart, right? But as to them certain people, you're dangerous, right? And we must treat you and expose you, right? Make you say you sorry, make you say it was anti-Semitic, and make an example out of you. Right? Because they got to make an example out of the slave. They got to make an example, because if they don't make an example out of him, they can't make an example out of you. They must scare you, right, by making an example out of him, right? So they know, like, damn, if they do that to Kanye or they do that to Kyrie, I bet not say nothing. I bet not do this. This is how they train you.
Sounded like a gun to me.
Wild niggas, right? They got wild niggas, right? While he driving down the street, right, in a damn paramedics, you got people doing drive-bys out of a damn car, right? disclaimer, right? Disclaimer, YouTube purposes, right? But you have somebody doing drive-bys out of a damn car, right? When he say a wild nigga is dangerous, right? An educated nigga is dangerous and an uneducated nigga is dangerous. Both of them dangerous, right? But the only thing about the uneducated nigga, right? His type of danger kill you or get somebody killed.
It is. Oh, someone on the bike just got shot.
Somebody on the bike just got shot. Dude on the middle of a highway shooting out of a damn car. The paramedics driving down the street got a duck. They see somebody get shot, they got to turn around and go treat the dude who just got shot. This is a wild nigga, right, who's not tame. This is who the white people is talking about.
Oh, we see this person? Yeah, I'm seeing him. Call in? Yeah.
Even if captured, for they will have the tendency to seek their customary freedom, and in doing so might kill you in your sleep.
Huh? They might kill you when somebody finna get arrested, right? When they don't want to go to jail, they might kill you when you're trying to do your job.
You cannot rest. They sleep while you are awake, and are awake while you are asleep. They are dangerous near the family house, and it requires too much labor to watch them away from the house.
Huh? It requires too much labor, but how you get a slave to watch another slave, right? When you can't watch him? I mean, how can you watch the slave when you can't watch him? You get another slave to watch him.
Above all, you cannot get them to work in this natural state. Hence, both the horse and the nigger must be broken. That is, breaking them from one form of mental life to another.
But that's not enough. No. Now I need to rob you of something to let you know.
Keep the body and take the mind. In other words, break the will to resist.
So we talk about tropes. This is something that we feel like in the black community that happened way back in the day, where if there was a slave that was defiant, right, he got broken.
Now the breaking process is the same for both the horse and the nigger.
Ha! That's what it's called, bucking, right? Black people know, right? If you're a smart black person, you know exactly what's happening. If you are a denying black person and you think this is right, you are in denial and you are trapped and enslaved, and this is exactly what they want you to think. They want you to think Kyrie's stupid. They want you to think Kanye's stupid, right? Because why? They want you to think what they say is the truth. Huh? But this is how you buck somebody. And look, in order to say it's the truth, right? We don't want you to do no research. We're going to say it's the truth, and we're going to buck this nigga in front of y'all, you know what I'm saying, for denying it's the truth. Anybody else want to speak out and say it's the truth? That's how we done to Kanye. That's how we do to Kyrie. Do any other NBA star, NFL star, actor, singers, anybody else want to say something about what we say? Huh? Who gonna speak out now? I dare you. You better do like we say and shut the hell up. What we say is the truth. We don't give a damn what you say. Speak out. Who want to speak out? Who want to defend him? KD, you want to defend him? We'll suspend your ass too. Huh? Amazon, you don't want to take it off? We gonna strike your ass. Make a decision, Amazon. Either take that shit off or say it's a lie. This is how you buck somebody. This is how you show your power. This is how you show if you go against what we say, this is what will happen to you. So do what we say or else. We'll buck you.
Only slightly varying in degrees. But as we said before, there is an art in long-range economic planning. You must keep your eye and thoughts on the female and the offspring of the horse and the nigger.
Because they would not give you money if there was. and we will not give you money, and we will not give you these benefits, and we will not give you that benefit. So they made it an incentive. Keep him out the house, we'll give you more of this.
Huh? You hear that? Who is that? Vanessa? Keep the black man out the house, we give you more of this. Keep the black man out the house, we give you more of that. This was a design. You don't understand, black men? They don't want the black man inside the house with a black kid, because guess what? If the black man was in the house with a black kid, all this shooting wouldn't be going on. All this violence wouldn't be going on. All this black on black crime wouldn't be going on, because the black kid probably would have more respect, more morals, more manhood, right? And more fear about his father and from his father, right, than he can get from the streets, than he can get from the books, than he can get from the school, that he can get from one of these police officers, right? But they don't want the black man in the house because it also help out the black woman, right? It makes her secure. It makes her comfort, right? It gives her someone to love, right? It gives her emotional, right? It gives her an emotional attachment. It gives her a sense of security, right? It allows her to be a queen. It allows her to be a woman, right? They don't want the kid to have no a family structure, because they don't want the kid seeing a man in the house. They don't want to see they don't want the kid to see a man and a woman married, right? Because they want the kid to think that shit is okay, right? They want the kid to see how a father, right, is important in his life, right? How a father disciplines a kid, how a father influences a kid, right? They don't want that family structure in that house, so a two-parent household. So what they do, they take the father out the house and they give the black woman, right, incentive on keeping him out the house. Good looking out, 10160. And black people don't see this. Y'all don't see what they doing to you. They doing it, and they doing it in the open. They're not even hiding it.
A brief discourse in offspring development will shed light on the key to sound economic principles. Pay little attention to the generation of original breaking, but concentrate on future generations. Therefore, if you break the female mother, she will break the offspring in its early years of development, and when the offspring is old enough to work, she will deliver it up to you, for her normal female protective tendencies will have been lost in the original breaking process.
Right? Meaning the mother is going to break the daughter for the slave master, right? Why you think it's generations of welfare, women on welfare, right? Huh? A woman have a baby, get on the system. Her daughter have a baby, get on the system, right? Why you think it's a ongoing generation, right? Because you have, right, the slave master, right, telling the mother to tell your daughter, right, if you have a baby, right, and you don't have a man, you get the same benefits as your mother. So your mother is an example of how you don't need a man in the house to be successful, right, or not really successful, or to have a place to stay, right, or have a place to live, or have a check coming in. All you need is a baby from the man. You don't need the man, you just need the baby from the man. Her mother taught her that. Huh? She didn't basically say, hey, this is the life in this, but she see the example. Her mother don't have a man, or have men coming over or stuff like that. Whatever the case may be, she may be a freak, right? She may be an undercover freak, right? Whatever it may be, the daughter gonna take up after her mother. She gonna say, well, shit, if my mother can do it, I can too. I ain't finna make it in school. I ain't finna go to college. I ain't finna do none of that. I'm finna have this baby, and I know I don't need a man. I know it, right? Right? Like, think about this, right? If women knew that they wasn't going to have assistance to take care of that baby, they'd have less babies. The only reason they have babies is because some of them, not all of them, is because they know a baby can take care of that man. That's in some slave entrapped women's mind right now. Not all women, not black women. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about niggas in holes, because the niggas in the holes are the new slaves. Huh? It's not the black men, it's not the black women. It's the niggas in the holes that they are, you know what I'm saying? The ones out there don't know how to use their mind and out there using their body. Right? The men that out there don't know their worth and their history and their responsibilities. Right? We are talking about these people.
For example, take the case of the wild stud horse, a female horse, and an already infant horse, and compare the breaking process with two captured nigger males in their natural state, a pregnant nigger woman and her infant offspring. Take the stud horse, break him for limited containment. Completely break the female horse until she becomes very gentle, whereas you or anybody can ride her in her comfort.
Huh? You or anybody can ride her. Break the horse. He comparing the horse, the female. You hear that, Randy K? Good looking on the donation. Huh? You can break the male horse and you break the female horse so she be easy to ride. Right? That means she be submissive anything you do. Right? That's how they got the black women back in the days, you know what I'm saying, to have their babies, to sexually assault them and shit like that, right, without calling it rape, right, because the black women didn't want to do it, right, but they were so scared of their master or whoever was doing the sexual assault, they had to submit, no matter if it was the master cousin, the son, whoever the fuck it was, right, they had to submit, because there was a lot of, a lot of kids fucking slaves too, right. So they had to submit. They couldn't say no or anything like that. If they knew what they was going to get because their will was broken. Black women's will is broken right now. A lot of black women will is broken because what they said, because how society say how a black man is. A black man can't do this. A black man ain't got that. A black man might do this. You know what I'm saying? Most black women say, I don't need a black man. Or certain black men don't live up to their standards. They said their standards too high on a black man they ain't gonna never meet in their fucking life. And if they do meet that black man, he probably married or don't want your ass. Right? But the certain white group of people, Democrats, is pumping so much shit into the black community and with lies and drugs and prisons and all this shit. Look at the prison. All this shit is happening near democratic cities. You ain't seeing no prisons being built in Republican states and cities like they is being built in fucking democratic cities and states. Right? Look at L.A. L.A. is surrounded by prisons. Most niggas that's in prison are from L.A. and Oakland and shit like that. So where they build the prisons at? In L.A. and Oakland and shit like that. Possibly an hour and a half away from each metropolitan city. Somewhere in the mountains somewhere. But at least 90 miles away from a metropolitan city. Not done by design. They're not building them shit out in Wyoming left and right. They're not building penitentiaries in Kansas left and right. Illinois, Texas, certain parts of Texas, right? Certain parts of California. Right? This is how they separate the family. Separate the black woman. Make her submissive. That way we can keep her away from the black man.
Breed the mare and the stud until you have the desired offspring. Then you can turn the stud to freedom until you need him again. Train the female horse where she will eat out of your hand, and she will in turn train the infant horse to eat out of your hand also. When it comes to breaking the uncivilized nigger, use the same process, but vary the degree and step up the pressure, so as to do a complete reversal of the mind.
Uncivilized nigga, right? You have to train an uncivilized nigga. You can't let an uncivilized nigga go untrained. That is dangerous, right? White people say uncivilized nigga is dangerous. We must hold him in his natural habitat, in a cage. What you do to a wild animal? You lock him up. You put him in a box. You don't let wild animals roam the street because they're going to hurt somebody.
Take the meanest and most reckless nigger, strip him of his clothes in front of the remaining male niggers, the female, and the nigger infant.
Right? What do you think they're doing to Kyrie Irving right now? When they don't like you, they're going to strip you in front of everybody. Right? This is how they call bucking. Strip his clothes off in front of everybody so everybody can see. Put it on social media, put it all in the news, right? Put it on Facebook, put it on Instagram, right? Watch niggas tweet it, watch niggas share it, right? Because we want to put his crucifixion up in front of everybody. We want everybody to see. Everybody. See what's going to happen to this nigga if you get out of line. Everybody.
Because Skip, right now what Brooklyn's trying to do, they're trying to put him in front of all the world to see. You see what happens?
Tar and feather him. Tie each leg to a different horse faced in the opposite direction, set him on fire, and beat both horses to pull him apart in front of the remaining nigger.
Huh? Pull him apart in front of the remaining nigger. What they doing to Kyrie? Huh? They separated him from Nike. They separated him from his team, right? They separated him from his contract, right? They separated him from his dignity, right? His job, all that shit. Who they doing that shit in front of? Every black person in America know about it, right? Remember when he was like, I'm not going to take the Wuhan juice? Remember that? Remember it was a big protest? Oh, he's not going to take the Wuhan juice. Oh, he's not going to take this. Remember that? He's like, I believe in my body, my spirit, and all this other shit. He was fine. They said, look, you can't play basketball. Huh? You don't. This is what they tried to get him at first. Like, I don't want to take the Wuhan. Well, you can't play basketball in this city. Huh? You can't play basketball until you do what we say. He stood up like a man and said, and he didn't play the whole damn season until like late in the season. But like, I'd rather stick by what I believe in. I'm not gonna take that shit. They still trying to pay him back for that. Oh, you don't want to take that? Okay, we got you. You hard headed. You telling the world this shit ain't safe. You telling the world don't put it in your body while we trying to tell the world to put it in their body? Huh? Okay, we got you. Huh? Got him, y'all. We're going to say anti-Semitic. But we remember what you said about the other shit when we were trying to promote it. You was all on news, all on Facebook. You was trying to tell people, you know what I'm saying? Basically, it's not safe and all this other shit. You was against what we was promoting. So guess what? We got your ass now, and we're going to persecute your ass in front of everybody. Because we couldn't get you on that. We couldn't persecute you on that. We suspended you. We thought that was enough. Right? We suspended you for a whole year. We thought that was enough. You only could play away games. But evidently, that wasn't enough for you. Now we got to crucify you again in front of the world. Because guess what? You believe you're smart. You believe you know your history. You believe you know your body. You believe all this. You believe you know religion. You believe you have a right. You don't. We got you.
If you do this, others, this is what could possibly happen to you.
The next step is to take a bullwhip and beat the remaining nigger male to the point of death in front of the female and the infant. Don't kill him, but put the fear of God in him, for he can be useful for future breeding.
Huh? What do you think they done to Kyrie? They put the future of God in him. We're going to take your contract, all of them. We're going to take you. You're going to pay for this. You're going to pay for that, right? And then we're going to be able to use you later on. We ain't going to kill you, because we're going to be able to use you as an example. You're going to run around and say you're sorry. You're going to run around and say it's a lie, right? We're going to have people wearing anti-Semitic shirts. We're going to use you because right now you're useful. You are the golden child. You are our scapegoat, right? You are our example of what will happen, right? So we can still use you. We ain't going to kill you, right? But we're going to beat you to damn near the death, to put God in your, fear of God in your life. But we ain't going to kill you because we need you. That's how they do slaves.
In front of everybody, in order to show that he was not in a position of power.
My bad.
The breaking process of the African woman. Take the female and run a series of tests on her to see if she will submit to your desires willingly.
Where children are just brought up without any of that support which a family gives it.
Test her in every way, because she is the most important factor for good economics. If she shows any signs of resistance in submitting completely to your will, do not hesitate to use the bullwhip on her to extract the last bit of bitch out of her.
We were together. The black man was
right? Extract the last bit of bitch out of her, right? Right? The white man, the master, right? And when it comes into nowadays, right? That comes when you don't do what these white people say, right? Instead of beating the shit out of you, they strip you of your so-called benefits, right? They strip you of your Section 8. They strip you of your Medicare. They strip you of your so-called check, right? Or whatever you may want to call it. When you don't do what the fuck they say, they strip you of your rights. But once upon a time, right, the black man and the black woman was one. They was proud to be together. They was a family, right? How did that stop?
We were together. The black man was prideful about having the black woman next to him. He was prideful about being able to go to work, come home, have his children run up to him, say, "Daddy, how you doing? You know, you had a good day at work," etc. We were prideful.
We're not prideful anymore. You know why we're not prideful anymore? We taught not to be prideful. I mean, where's Sergeant Mo at? Where's Sergeant Mo? Sergeant Mo, you still on here? Hey, Beth Roberts! Where's Sergeant Mo? I know Sergeant Mo is proud. He's a proud father. And I know, because he sent me pictures of his daughter. He's a proud father. And every time he see his daughter, you know what I'm saying, I know it sends chills down his spine because he's a good father. He in his daughter's life every single day like a black man's supposed to be, right? He don't try to get credit for it. He don't like, look, man, look what kind of father I am, nothing like that. You can just see the joy he have with his kid, right? And I'm pretty sure when she get older, he's going to have that joy when she come home and say, "Daddy, Daddy," from school, or when he pick her up, or when he drop her off from school, he's going to have some extra joy. That's something black men are not receiving nowadays. That's something black kids are not receiving nowadays, right? We're not receiving that connection where we come home from work and you got the kids coming home saying, "Daddy, Daddy," and hugging you. There's something special in that, right? It's something white families got their kids going up saying "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy" because the daddy is in the home. The Hispanics got their kids going up "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy." The Asians got their kids going up there at "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy." But the black kids ain't got their kids going up to their daddy saying "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy." My kids don't run up to me and say "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy." It's not my fault. I would love that, right? But the system wouldn't allow me and my baby mother to benefit together, right? It wouldn't allow us to grow together, right? So she had to do something else, and you know what I'm saying, something else that was more beneficial at the time because I was around doing my thing, right? We couldn't say we was together. We couldn't do lots of stuff like we couldn't be together. We couldn't we couldn't live together, and none of that, right? Because she would lose all her benefits, right? So we couldn't really build nothing together. She had to go with somebody, you know, she was younger. She had to actually go with somebody who she could build something with. But it's like that in lots of different communities where it's more beneficial for a black woman to be without a black man. Who was that? Send me a donation. It's more beneficial for a black woman to be without a black man than it is for a black woman to be with one. Right? And that's fucked up. But that's how society wanted to be. You think they want black families together? Huh? You think they want because think about it. If the black family was together, then the neighborhoods would be safer. If the neighborhoods were safer, then it would be less police. And if it was less police, then it would be less control. And if it was less control, it would be less need for a certain government, right? It wipes out a whole thing. They need this. Think about it. If the way they can cut out, I'm telling you, the way they can cut out crime right now, cut that shit down, is put the black man back in the home. Because the black man has been out the home for so fucking long, certain black kids in certain neighborhoods and certain generation of kids don't even know how it feels to have a black man in the house. Certain whole communities, there's black men in the neighborhood, but there ain't no black men in the house. That's how it stops. But guess what? The Democrats is not going to preach that. The Democrats is not going to tell you that, because guess what? The Democrats promote that. You think welfare, right, is a Republican law, right? They want you to work. They want you to prosper. They want you to get out of the situation you in. It's the Democrats say, stay in the position you in. We want to give you this social program. 160, good looking on the big one. 160. 160 like this shit. But 160, watch how this dude back in the days explain the shit that's going on today about the black family and what the white man has done.
The divorce rate is 2.5 times what it is, and all of the number of fatherless children keeps growing.
The black woman was next to him, prideful about it. Feminism came in, and the rights of women, white women in particularly, who didn't have rights when it came to their white mans.
And all these things getting worse, not better, over recent years.
Take care not to kill her, for in doing so you spoil good economics. When in complete submission, she will train her offsprings in the early years to submit to labor when they become of age.
Good looking out the donation on the Cash App, Troy Sherman. Good looking out, right? But you have to train them, right? Because if you, that's why Joe Biden always talking about these union workers and this and that and all this old shit. Because if you keep people, right, at a steady economic level, all they do is reproduce at that same economical level, right? That's why I'm going to tell you why. Some secrets certain people don't know about, right? When you born in the United States, you get a business card, right? As soon as you're born, you get a business card. That business card is a Social Security card, right? And that Social Security card is a business card because everything that's a business in a certificate, right, or like a birth certificate, has to be in all capitals and double frame, right? So you have a job business license, which is a certificate, right? And you have a business card, which is a Social Security card, right? What they do is you have a certain sequence of numbers on that Social Security card, and by a certain sequence of number, they know your basically life. That's like when you go into the store, right? And they ring the shit with the barcode and say how much it costs, what it is, and all that shit, right? So when they run your Social Security, it shows what you're worth, all that shit. Why do you think they ask for your Social Security number? And it's so important because it tells what you're worth. That is your business card. You are a business, right? And if you don't use your business card and you don't use your license, guess what? Somebody use your card for you, right? So what they do is you're like a temporary worker, right? You know what a temporary worker does? They say, look, I hire you for this job right here, right? But I'm going to get paid, you know what I'm saying? Because because you're a temporary worker, right? So you only get paid on how much I pay you, right? You was going to get I'm going to give you $15 an hour, but I'm making $30 an hour. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not really, without me, you wouldn't have this job. This is how Democrats do this shit. You don't need to do it because I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to do the job for you. So relax and take this fish sandwich. Relax and take this ham sandwich. Hold on. Let me keep going.
Understanding is the best thing. Therefore, we shall go deeper into this area of the subject matter concerning what we have produced here in this breaking process of the female nigger.
Secondly, segregation and the great humiliation of Jim Crow was a brutal assault on the personal integrity of the Negro male. I mean, he was the man who took the brunt of it.
We have reversed the relationship.
Jim Crow, the black man, was the one that took the brunt of Jim Crow, right? And it wasn't, even though it was aimed at black people, but believe me, black women, I know you suffered a lot, but it was niggas getting hung in the trees and black men was getting raped at a regular rate too, because a lot of homosexual men that liked black men back then too, right? So and it was lots of cases. They used to rape black men in front of their wives and family and shit like that, right? Not saying it was brutal, but they was really this gay, right? But you separate the family, right? You separate the family. The black man took the brunt of it because guess what? The black man was supposed to be the head of the family. He was responsible for the family. He was responsible for the kid and the woman. And guess what? It was up to him to go out and get the job. It was up to him to go out and get the food. And when he couldn't do it, guess what? He took the brunt of it. Because they didn't offer him the same things they offered everybody else.
In her natural, uncivilized state, she would have a strong dependency on the uncivilized nigger male. And she would have a limited protective tendency toward her independent male offspring.
Thirdly, urbanization poured into the cities. Don't forget, the Negroes of our time, because they're Americans, we don't see them as immigrants.
And would raise male offsprings to be dependent like her. Nature had provided for this type of balance. We reversed nature by burning and pulling a civilized nigger apart and bullwhipping the other to the point of death.
And there's a bigger situation going on. What's happening with Kyrie Irving? If the Nets don't want him to be there, just say you don't want him to be there.
I don't agree with that, Skip. I think that's a bit, for me, that's a bit much. And I've been very critical of Kyrie. But I think what Brooklyn is doing now, that's a bit much.
Huh? Would you think, think about this. Would you think tying a black man to a horse, whipping the horses and tearing them apart, then whooping another black man to damn near death? You don't think that's doing a little too much? Think about it. They can't tie him to no horses. They can't beat him to the end of his life. But don't you think that's doing too much? Like tying somebody to a horse? It's doing too much.
And I might lose my job. I might lose deal opportunities in the future for speaking out.
All in her presence. By her being left alone, unprotected, with the male image destroyed, the ordeal caused her to move from her psychological dependent state to a frozen, independent state.
Huh? When a woman, right, when a woman is without her man, without her security blanket, with all that, she feels a sense of insecurity, right? But now she has a baby, so she has to feel a sense of independency, right? So now she has to be the mother and the father because the father not there. That's the way the government wanted. She has to be, because they don't want to say, oh, y'all both can be in the house and we both will give y'all assistance. No, we want the man out of the house. Out. Because guess what? We know he's there, right? You have some security. You have some comfort. You have a structure. We don't want none of that in the house. We want the woman to be the man. And the woman.
In this frozen psychological state of independence, she will raise her male and female offspring in reversed roles. For fear of the young male's life, she will psychologically train him to be mentally weak and dependent, but physically strong.
The Negroes in Watts were immigrants, just as much as the Italians or Irish or whatever who poured into the cities in the 19th century. And it wasn't a very pretty sight in New York in 1870 either, let me tell you. The families break up when they leave countrysides, rural peasant life, and sort of dump into slums. Fourthly, unemployment. We have had 35 years of disastrous unemployment.
Huh?
And for the Negro male.
35 years. Think about it. Back then, 35 years of disastrous employment for the Negro, right? How many years you think it's been now for the Negro? Huh? If it's 35 years, then we're still at an economic job disaster, because they always talking about jobs for black. We're going to help out the black community. We're going to put more jobs in the black community. They've been saying that shit since the 30s. Since the 30s. We've been in an economic, think about it, black folks, because we don't take part in our community, because we don't go to school because we don't go to trade school because we don't get trade jobs because we don't do that shit. Some of us gang bang, some of us steal drugs, some of us shoot, some of us steal, some of us rob, some of us do all that shit, right? Because we already behind at an economic and a job thing, right? We falling further behind by not getting these jobs and not creating some kind of railroad, some kind of pipeline to our kids. I got a job, you got a job, your kid got a job, and maybe he get a better job, and he get we're not doing that pipeline, right? So if we at an economical disadvantage, right, and we're not taking advantage of the advantage we got right now, it's not other people's fault. It's our fucking fault. If we want to stand on the corner and sell some shit instead of picking up a damn hammer and nail some shit. Can't blame it on nobody else.
Because she has become psychologically independent, she will train her female offspring to be psychologically independent.
Huh? Psychologically independent. That goes back to what I say when a girl from the ghetto can understand she can make money or she can have a living off of having a baby and not a man. That's psychological. Her mother teaches her that. Not on purpose.
What have you got? You've got the nigger woman out front and the nigger man behind and scared.
Huh? And that's how it is, right? Because where we live at, and I live at, it's the women who got the men scared because the woman can say, get out. Get your shit and go. Because the house is in her name, the Section 8 in her name, and all that shit in her name, right? So a man can't be a man inside of a woman's house when he's living with a woman, right? And most of the time, it's the man that pay the bills. He make the money, got the hustle, but he just ain't got his name on the damn lease, right? So the woman always had the power. If she feel right, he done something wrong, or he ain't following the rules she said, right? All she got to do is say, get out. My name is on the house. Get out. And what a man got to do? He got to fucking leave. So he got to walk around there scared, and he can't be a man, and he can't express authority. He can't put his foot down because at any time she can say, get out. Right? So you put the woman up front, you give her all the benefits, you give her all the advantages, right? And you have the man behind, you don't give him nothing. Not an education, not an advantage, not a job, not a benefit, not anything. You leave him behind. He don't get shit. The black man have it the hardest because you can go to a shelter, a woman's shelter. You can't go to no all-men shelter because you got abused and beaten. You can get pregnant and go to a pregnancy home and stuff like that, and they take you. They don't take the man in the pregnancy home when a woman get pregnant. Say you need shelter too. Right? People that's a team can't be a team no more because the system don't allow you to be a team, right? If a woman get pregnant, she wants the benefits, right? Sometimes she got to go to a pregnant home, or she got to go to a pregnancy, whatever, right? A program or some shit like that. She got to enter something. She can say, look, I'm homeless, right? They can both be homeless, right? They can both be living with their mother, living with their parents, right? But if the girl get pregnant and she go and say, look, I'm homeless, I need a place to stay, right? And they set her up with a program, you know what I'm saying? She goes stay in a program, and after she stay in the program for a little while, she get a counselor, they give her a counselor, find her school, find her a job, you know what I'm saying? Find her find her housing, find her all that shit. A man don't get them same benefits. Why? If they were both homeless, a man can't say, hey, I'm homeless too. Can I stay with her and we both can do the program together so I can take care of my kid and we both move out, we can both move in a house together? There's no program like that. They take the woman and the nigga is on his own. And they say, who is the father so we can hit his ass with child support? That's it, that's all. She can't say, I'm still with my baby father. I don't want to hit him with child support. He's a good man. He just ain't got the financial means to take care of this baby right now. I need help. Well, the only way we help you is if you disown the black man.
He has never gotten over the Depression. He had 4 fair to middling years in the Second World War and maybe a good year in the Korean War, and that's it.
Huh? Did you hear that? The black man had a couple of good years, and that's it. That's it.
Better just recently.
They came after us when we had over 60 all-black towns. And this is very critical because I want people to get into the idea that we've always been these lazy people who don't want to work. None of that. No, we were the hardest workers. We were the masters of every trade you can imagine, from brick masonry to welding to painting, all of this. We were the masters of it. We taught it to everybody.
But by and large, it's been going on beyond the imagining in the white world.
To see a white man with a hammer back then in the 20s and the 30s and 40s looked weird. It was an oddity to see a white man with a hammer. A black man did that.
And they took that away from us, right? They took away, like, black people don't know we was tradesmen. That's our original occupation. We was tradesmen. We built shit, right? I don't understand why black people say, hey, we built America, and then one of you motherfuckers picking up a hammer or a nail and building nothing now, right? If that's our heritage, we builders, right? Why we let somebody else totally dominate our fucking industry? Right? That was our shit. We were the kings of that. We let now you got Hispanics, you got other people doing some shit we created. Not created, but some shit we was doing. Shit we was extras at. Shit our ancestors was not paid for, but enslaved for all these years. Carpentry, building shit. That was us. Now you mean to tell me we don't have no kind of culture, no kind of industry, no kind of building shit, no kind of craftsman, marksman, whatever the hell you call it, handymans, or none of that shit? We were natural craftsmen. Go to Egypt, Africa, wherever we came from, we was natural craftsmen. We built shit, pyramids, and all that shit. Now you telling me we can't build a damn thing? We got to tear shit down? What happened? When we dominated that industry, like you said, it was weird to see a black man with a hammer. Now you see white men with a hammer all the time. Ask Nancy Pelosi's husband. You don't see no niggas with no hammers and no nails building shit. It's other races. We let other races come and dominate our field and totally take over. Now we look at construction or somebody working construction as a bad thing. I don't want to build shit. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to build shit. I don't want to hammer shit. I ain't fit it. That's us. What the fuck you mean you don't want to do it? Nigga, you're naturally good at it. What do you mean? You let another culture come over and that was our culture. They didn't train us. They say, hey man, you can have, this is what you do. I want you to pick this, I want you to paint that, I want you to build that. That's what we done. And then we was free, that's what was our craft. We got paid for that shit. Now it's nowhere in our culture. We let somebody come in and take over our whole fucking culture of building shit, of being craftsmen, welders, bricklayers, all that. Now they calling us lazy, right? That was our industry.
This is a perfect situation of sound sleep and economics. Before the breaking process, we had to be alertly on guard at all times. Now we can sleep soundly, for out of frozen fear, his woman stands guard for us.
You hear that, DP? DP said it's all because of the Amish. The Amish! Look, they said, look, think about what he's saying. He's saying, after we break the black man or the nigga or whatever you want to say, right, we can stand guard after we break the female, right? We can stand guard because we put her up front and we put the man behind her. Now, guess what? The female gonna guard the men for us. We ain't gotta do it no more. She gonna train her son, and she gonna come and she gonna mentor her man. Don't do this, don't do that. You know what the master do, right? When she train her son, hey, this is the master. Do this, do that, do that. Listen to the master say. Right? It's the woman.
He cannot get past her early slave molding process. He is a good tool, now ready to be tied to the horse at a tender age. By the time a nigger boy reaches the age of 16, he is soundly broken in and ready for a long life of sound and efficient work and the reproduction of a unit of good labor force.
I mean, rates of unemployment, teenage unemployment in the white world and the Negro world today is almost 25%.
Huh? Back then, they had us working, right? Because we were slaves. They needed our slave work. Right now, we not working, right? Teenage, he was 16, they was ready to work. They was ready to be broken in and all that other shit, right? Now, I'm not talking about now. I don't know what it is now. But him right now, he said teenage unemployment, like 16 and over, is 25%, right? And he basically like, how can a community, right, or how can a race live, right, and have and most of the teenage group is not working, helping out with certain shit. They ain't got a job. You ain't got that with the white community. You have 25% of the youth not working, right, in the black community, right? And he said it's basically not the black kids' fault. He said it's the country's fault. And guess whose fault it is? The Democrats.
You imagine that.
Continually, through the breaking of uncivilized savage niggers, by throwing the nigger female savage into a frozen psychological state of independence, by killing of the protective male image, and by creating a submissive dependent mind of the nigger male slave, we have created an orbiting cycle that turns on its own axis forever.
Right? Meaning, we created a cycle of women that don't need a man because we destroyed the image of the man, right? When you destroy the image of the man, little kids in the black community don't really see a man in the house. They destroyed the image of a man. So a kid in the house, a woman or a boy, right? A little girl or a little boy, they don't get to see the image of a man, right? So you don't get, so a little boy don't get to see what example of a man is, and a woman, a little girl, don't get to have the example of how a man love, right? You know what I'm saying? You need a man up in there to have two examples. The woman need to know an example of what a man is, and the boy need to know the responsibility of what a man does, right? You're taking that out the house. You take out the image of a man. And that's bad on everybody in charge in the equation, including the woman, because she ain't got a strong man there to protect her and mentor her and cherish her.
Were in all these cities, over 60 all-black towns. Like I said, it wasn't just Tulsa, Oklahoma. We built up all these areas. So we were the masters of this, but the problem was America was not making the benefit of being superior because we were demonstrating exactly how powerful we were without their help, without being there on their assistance, any of that.
Huh? Think about that, black people. At one point in time, right, we built our own communities. We were the bricklayers. We were the donators. We was all that. We built our own community. People keep on saying Black Wall Street. We didn't just have Black Wall Street. We had plenty of Black Wall Streets. They're not going to tell you that. They have plenty of black communities where black people was building up their own communities, had their own stores, had their own houses, had their own banks, had their own libraries, had their own schools, right? But it wasn't prospering to white America, so guess what? They broke all that shit up. Because it wasn't prospering us or them. And we know what group broke them up. It was the Democrats, damn it. Ain't nothing against black people in American history, you know what I'm saying, against black people been done by Republicans. Not one single thing. I don't give a fuck what the Democratic Party say. Not one single thing any time in history of the country has the Republican Party been responsible for any offensive acts on any blacks. None. Right? The whole thing about Goldwater, right, when they were saying Goldwater was racist, right, because he wanted not segregation, but he wanted the states to basically vote on certain shit and all that old, well, we're going to put this people in this community, we're going to desegregate neighborhoods. It was certain blacks wanted to keep it the same. They wanted to keep it segregated. They wanted to build their own communities. They wanted to live in their own communities, right, because they was prosperous in their own communities. But guess what? The Democrats say no. No more of that. We're not going to have our own community. We're not going to do that shit no more. The same thing Joe Biden say. But black people wanted their own community. They wanted to make their own rules. They wanted to make their own laws. They wanted to have their own policies. They wanted to elect their own officials. They wanted that. They wanted their own representation. They wanted all that. But guess what? The white people wouldn't let them. So guess what? We're going to segregate people. We're going to split you over here. We're going to put you over here. We're going to put you in this community, right? That's called separating a family, because guess what? A community was a family. But as soon as you take that community and separate that community, it's no more a family. We're going to move people in. We're going to move people out. Because guess what? We don't want the community to be a family. Right?
That is a social crime. That's an outrage.
Unless a phenomenon occurs and reshifts the position of the male and female slaves. We showed what we mean by example. Take the case of the 2 economic slave units and examine them closely. The Negro Marriage Unit. We breed 2 nigger males with 2 nigger females. Then we take the nigger male away from them and keep them moving and working.
There isn't a society in the world which will let 25% of teenagers go unemployed.
So again, there's layers to it, but then of course it's long before the drugs came in, long before the heroin, long before the crack cocaine, long before the prison industrial complex became so successful. There are layers to it, my brother, but it was a strategic assassination plot on the black family.
And they still doing it. They still separating the black family. Ain't one Democratic policy preaching black unity or black family, right, or preaching the man in the house. Not one single Democratic policy. Not one.
Say one nigger female bears a nigger female, and the other bears a nigger male. Both nigger females being without influence of the nigger male image.
Because why? The black man image is gone out the house. Ain't no black man image in the house. So guess what? The women got to raise these kids up, right? And how do you raise these kids up, right? To be part of the cycle, to be part of our plan. How do you raise them up?
Chosen with an independent psychology will raise their offspring into reverse positions.
It was not an accident. It wasn't just something that happened. Black men that just say, oh, I want to be a nigga right now. I'm going to be on just drugs, alcohol, and not help my family. That's not what it was.
The one with the female offspring will teach her to be like herself, independent and negotiable. We negotiate with her, through her, by her, and negotiate her at will.
You hear that? Negotiate. We can sell her, right? We can negotiate. We can do anything. We can make her tell. We can negotiate with her. What do you think they doing with black women now? They negotiating with them. Slave mentality.
About a quarter of Negro families are headed by women.
The one with the nigger male offspring, she being frozen subconscious fear for her life, will raise him to be mentally dependent and weak. But
that's because, right, mentally dependent and weak. A man doesn't teach that, right? And like Dude said in that interview, most black families are headed by women. What's happening right now? Most black families are being headed by women. Sometimes 2 women now. Because now the women is trying to be the man. So now a lot of kids' image in the house of a man is really a woman trying to be a fucking man. Think about how far we went as a society and how little bit of time. We went from family, right, and us having a fucking occupation, right, occupation, right, a profession, right, to having babies, big families, to now we're not having families, we're getting abortions, we're less married, we're more dangerous, and we're less employed. How in the hell did that happen?
but physically strong. In other words, body over mind. Now in a few years, when these 2 offspring become fertile for early reproduction, we will mate and breed them and continue the cycle. That is good, sound, and long-range comprehensive planning. Warning: possible interloping negatives. Earlier, we talked about the non-economic good of the horse and the nigger in the wild and natural state. We talked out the principle of breaking and tying them together for orderly production. Furthermore, we talked about paying particular attention to the female savage and her offspring for orderly future planning.
Female savage and her offspring, right? Think about this. Most black families are controlled by the government.
Then, more recently, we stated that by reversing the positions of the male and female savages, we created an orbiting cycle that turns on its own axis forever unless a phenomenon occurred and reshifted the positions of the male and female savages.
So they wanted to fight that to get their own against him, but they didn't have enough numbers. So what did they do? Convince black women to join in.
Our experts warned us about the possibility of this phenomenon occurring, for they say the mind has a strong drive to correct and recorrect itself over a period of time. If I can touch some substantial, original historical base, they advised us that the best way to deal with the phenomenon is to shave off the brute's mental history and create a multiplicity of phenomena of illusions.
Think about this. They don't want you to know about history. They want you to know about illusions, right? 1689 Project and all this old shit. They don't want you to know about your history, where you come from and all that old shit. They want you to know about what they tell you, right? They want to tell you your history, right? Not fuck what's right, fuck what's legit. I'm going to tell you your history. Because what you're saying is an illusion. Because we don't want you to find out your real history, so we're going to sell you this illusion. That way you won't think, and you won't know your history. You won't know your worth. You won't know where you come from. Because we're selling you an illusion. How many black people is walking around with an illusion right now?
They got white women to take the power away from the black family. So while we were coming together fighting for civil rights to be treated like human beings, they were fighting for their own rights as women against the white man.
Crossbreeding a horse means taking a horse and breeding it with an ass, and you get a dumb, backward ass, long-headed mule that is neither reproductive nor productive by itself.
You hear that? So you know what he's going to say about black people, right? It's neither productive. You can't be productive by yourself. You can't tie an ass to a face and expect it to be productive unless it has help, right? Because he could explain.
That was a whole nother layer to this whole situation here. So again, once that didn't work fast enough, that's when they brought in drugs and alcohol, prison industrial complex, etc., etc., etc. So there were layers to how.
When I talk about the chakras, when I talk.
Look, I want to show you, right? I brought this piece of video in, right? I want to show you Kanye West, how smart he is. How smart he is. He finna say something that's going to blow your mind. And then he finna come over here and this dude finna say something also as a Jewish man, right? Music promoter, music producer, Jewish executive, all that. He finna say something that finna blow your fucking mind.
About Rick Rubin, I talked about the 808, but I'm gonna say some anti-Semitic shit. I'ma fuck your bitch. I'ma kill this nigga.
Right? Did you hear that? I don't want to give. He said, I'm gonna fuck your bitch. I'm gonna. Right? He said he gonna say something anti-Semitic.
I'ma fuck your bitch. I'ma kill this nigga.
Right? He said it's anti-Semitic, right? But disclaimer, I'm just doing a video. This is an education video. This video is for education purposes only, right? The views, I do not agree with the views and the comments of the people on this video. Disclaimer.
I'ma fuck your bitch. I'ma kill this nigga.
Huh? You gonna say it one more time?
I'ma fuck your bitch. I'ma kill this nigga. Yeah. That's the real anti-Semitic shit that the Jewish people get paid off for.
Huh? Did you hear that how smooth he was? He's saying that's anti-Semitic because every rap song, right, that you hear is some shit like that. I'm gonna blast a nigga, shoot a nigga in the face, right? But ain't nobody saying that's he said that's anti-Semitic because these people are actually Jewish people, right? So when niggas say I'm gonna do this, not gonna do that, that's being anti-Semitic. Right? But watch what this dude say.
Crossbreeding niggers means taking so many drops of good white blood and putting them into as many nigger women as possible.
I don't know what's this opioid thing, man.
Well, being a crackhead wasn't cool back then. Being a crackhead.
Right? He say, look, he don't know what the opioid thing is. He's a music producer. Remember, people are dying on opioids, right? and people rapping about opioids and shit like that, and he's a music producer, right? Remember, people are rapping and they're dying on opioids, and he's a music producer. He's a Jewish music producer.
It wasn't cool. Now they seem like they're making it cool to be drinking lean and syrup, and
it's the most dangerous. It's the most dangerous thing that's facing our society.
So why sign an artist that would promote that?
Did you hear that? If the drugs and the people rapping about promoting the drugs and all that other stuff, and this shit is dangerous, why are you signing artists that promote it? Why are you signing artists that promoting lean and taking pills and all? Why are you signing this? Because they the one out here telling these kids to take these pills, how they feel, and it's okay to drink lean, and it's okay to pop pills. You have rappers talking about popping Percocets, right? What kids dying on now? Percocets, right? So why is you comfortable with people promoting this shit, right? You don't promote this shit unless you want people to take this shit. Right? You don't say you doing it. You don't say how you feel. You don't say you were the woman, you done gave it to her. You don't say none of that shit unless you want somebody to do that shit. You don't see nobody coming on with a hamburger commercial and they don't want you to buy the damn hamburger. You don't see that. They want you, they're promoting it because they want you to take it. Because if not, they will say, hey, we don't want you to rap about drug overdoses. We don't want you to rap about drive-by. We don't want you to rap about killing the enemy. We don't want you to rap about none of the black. We don't want you to rap about that. But like Kanye West say, I'm gonna kill this bitch. I'm gonna kill this nigga. I'm gonna kill that. He said that's anti-Semitic. That's all on the rap song. That's all you hear. That's all you hear on the rap song. Turn it on. I got my AK, I'm better shoot up the block. That's all you hear. Right? But you get somebody like Kanye West, right? But that's not anti-Semitic. You see how twisted it is? See how twisted it is?
Mix some asses and some good white blood, and what do you get? You get a multiplicity of colors of ass-backward, unusual niggers, running, tied to a backward-ass long-headed mule, the one productive of itself, the other sterile.
You hear that? That's how you get it. If you keep on dropping white blood and black people, right, you distort the black people, and you got a bunch of crazy niggas, like you said, you got a bunch of crazy niggas running around, don't know their history, don't know where they come from, and ain't got no guidance, right? And where you put niggas? In a box or in a cell. Right? But see, this dude say, why you rapping, why you promoting these dudes that rap about lean? And watch what this dude say. He already said it, but watch what this dude say.
Because I already answered that question. You weren't paying attention. She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent.
So he said, they asked him, would you rather sign somebody with talent or they got issues or something like that? And he said, I'm signing people with talent. Fuck the issues. Fuck what they talking about. I don't care what they talking about. As long as they got talent, I'm going to sign them. And they talking about talent with taking drugs.
The one constant, the other dying. We keep the nigger constant, for we may replace the mules for another tool. Both mule and nigger tied to each other, neither knowing where the other came from, and neither productive for itself, nor without each other.
She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent. But I have to, I can't give up on people.
Don't you think that's hypocritical though? You're saying
it's opportunistic. Yeah. I got people to feed.
Huh? He said, "Do I think that's opportunistic?" Yeah, I got people to feed. So what he's saying is, right? The black people that's dying on these drugs and the people that's taking these drugs because of the music I pay to get put out there and the people I promote, right? It doesn't really, I really don't care about it because I have people to feed. I'm making money, right? I don't care about the drug epidemic. I don't care about who promoting it. I'm not going to tell them to stop Because it's making me money. Huh?
I got a business to run.
You're gonna make Dame Dash take this clip and call you a culture vulture.
Someone taking over somebody's culture that ain't from the culture, right? I'm going to influence black culture, right? Without being from the culture. I'm going to influence people to drink lean. I'm going to influence people to pop pills. I'm going to influence people to drink those Eckies and whatever the fuck I may want to promote right at the time, right? I'm going to pass the Gavassier. I'm going to promote anything I get paid for and I want people to drink or smoke or take or pop. I don't care about the consequences.
Controlled language. Crossbreeding completed, for further severance from their original beginning, we must completely annihilate the mother tongue of both the new nigger and the new mule.
It's not a matter of a bad situation that doesn't improve, but rather a bad situation that worsens.
And institute a new language that involves the new life's work of both. You know, language is a peculiar institution. It leads to the heart of a people. The more a foreigner knows about the language of another country, the more he is able to move through all levels of that society.
Right? So think about this. The Democrats don't want you to know certain shit. That's why they don't educate you. Why you think they don't have no classes in the ghetto about money, right? Or how to be a politician or anything like that that's going to help you out in the future, that's going to help you make money, how to handle money, how to bank, how to finance, how to save, how to invest, right? Why you think they don't teach you none of that in school? Because that's a secret language only they want, right? They want to know how to invest. They want to know how to read shares. They want to know how to read stocks. They want to teach that to their kids. They don't want you knowing the language. They want to know how to read contracts, huh? They want to know how to read blueprints, right? They want to know all of that. They want to know how to be the engineers, right? They want to be all of that, huh? That way you depended on them. You depended on them. What you gonna do without them?
Got to get that clear. It's getting worse. How'd you learn how to behave? From your father and your mother and your older sisters maybe and the people around you.
But if you're a young black kid and you ain't got no father or no mother or you ain't got no good people around you, what are you taught? When you got a mother that's on Instagram, going to clubs and twerking on TikTok, you got a father you ain't never saw and you take care of another family, right? You know what I'm saying? You got a brother that's gay, older brother that's gay. You go outside in your community, you see people on drugs, you see homeless people, right? What kind of inspiration is that for a kid? No father, mother not really paying attention. She got her own issues, Instagram and TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Your older brother or younger sister, they got their own issues. You know what I'm saying? You really ain't got no friends because people don't go outside. They stuck in the house playing their video games. You go outside, it's despair. I mean, what does it do outside? Ain't there no parks or recreation centers that you can go to? Right? You can't play video games. Your father. I mean, what is it for a kid to do that's like this put out there like, just go out there and welcome to the world. Go out there and find you something to do. Mama busy. There's no hope for a kid when he go out in the street and all he sees is homeless and crackheads and pimps, gangs, drugs, and hoes. And then it becomes normalized. And then when it becomes normalized, guess what? He's involved in it now. He's involved in the gang and the pimps and the drugs and the horn and all of those stuff. Because there's no hope when he walk out his door. There's no hope when he walk in his door. Some of these kids has no hope and no inspiration. Why? Because a man is not in the house and there's no family structure.
Therefore, if the foreigner is an enemy of the country, to the extent that he knows the body of the language, To that extent is the country vulnerable to attack or invasion of a foreign culture.
Right? And that foreign culture is black culture. Right? Because they knew if you can talk their language, or they knew you can create your own language, right? And you have something or you can understand what they're trying to do, right? Which is money, politics, and all of those shit, right? Why don't teach you about teach you the different branches of government, but why don't they teach you the powers of the different branches of government? And they do it in some school. They have debate classes, debate this and shit like that, government this and shit like that. That's not going on in the black neighborhoods. They don't want you to know about government. They want you to know the different branches, right? That's in the book. You get one chapter of that shit, right? In the government book or something, probably like in the 12th grade. But when you get into these older schools, they don't teach you anything about government, politics, and stuff like that. Right? The importance of voting, the importance of policies. They don't teach you nothing like that. So when black people go in and vote, right, they don't have no idea of policies and go in and vote on what they saw on TV. They saw a rapper support this candidate, so they're going to go with the rapper. You know what I'm saying? They saw an actor say this person is good, so they're going to go with what the actor said. Right? But they don't know the politics or the policies, you know what I'm saying, or what may be good or not good for them, because they don't teach you that in school, and you don't learn after school. Oops. You don't learn after school. Right here. We right here. Ooh, I went back a little bit. Too far.
The other dying. We keep the nigger constant, for we may replace the mules for another tool. Both mule and nigger tied to each other, neither knowing where the other came from. Crossbreeding completed, for further severance from their original beginning, we must completely annihilate
We've already done that.
The new life's work of both. You know, language is a peculiar institution. It leads to the heart of a people. The more a foreigner knows about the language of...
We've already done that right here.
Therefore, if the foreigner is an enemy of the country, to the extent that he knows the body of the language, to that extent is the country vulnerable to attack or invasion of a foreign culture.
Well, supposing there is no father, or if he is a father, he doesn't work. Where there is no education, where there's no sense of getting ahead.
Right? No sense of getting ahead. Right? Think about that. When a kid has no hope, with no sense of getting ahead, what are you going to do? If you don't teach him the ability and the power he has, if you don't teach him that he can do better, if you don't teach him no guidance, you don't give him no structure, right? What is he going to do?
For example, if you take a slave, if you teach him all about your language, he will know all your secrets, and he is then no more a slave, for you can't fool him any longer.
Huh? Once you have a free mind, once you understand what the system, the democratic system, has done to black folks, right, in your situation, and why you're in the position you're in, right, and why you think the way you think, and why you feel the way you feel, and why you're in the position you're in, why your community look like that, right? And then you figure out a way how to get out of that, how you can empower you, your community, your kids, and your family. You're no longer a slave, right? But long as you trapped, long as you searching, long as you part of a group, long as you in the same mindset, long as you believe what they tell you, right? Long as you scared to talk back or scared to have a voice, you still enslaved. It's until you speak up. It's until you start doing your research. It's when you start understanding, right? It's when you start learning. And it's when you start teaching that you are free. Because guess what? That's everything Jesus done. Jesus was free. And he done everything. Taught, walked, learned, spoke out. Right? He done everything. That's the ability you're supposed to have. You're supposed to have, you think Jesus died for your sins for nothing? You're supposed to have all the rights he had. That's the right of freedom of speech. Right? The right of thought, the right of religion. Right? The right to voice your opinion? You're supposed to have all that rights. He didn't have. He thought he had all that rights. He said, "Look, I'll die so you can have them rights," and you're not voicing them rights. The government rights. What rights did God give you? God's greatest gift to man was his free will to do as you want. If you wanted everybody to be a robot, he would have made you the same color, the same height, the same everything. But everybody's different. And until you find out you're different, right, and you're free, you're going to be on the plantation. And not with your body, with your damn mind.
And being a fool is one of the basic ingredients of an incident to the maintenance of the slavery system. For example, if you told a slave that he must perform in getting out our crops, and he knows the language well, he would know that our crops didn't mean our crops, and the slavery system would break down.
Right? That means you have to make your slave understand the language. So when Joe Biden say that, like we say our crops, that really mean my crops. When he say the money I'm fit to give you, that really mean the money I'm fit to give us, right? You think they fit to give the black people and all this community this money and they not getting none? So when they really say your money, they really mean our money. They don't give you some, but they damn sure ain't gonna give you all. It's our money. You got to understand their language. Oh, we're going to give you the money. We're going to give you the money. It's your money. The people this and the people that. You know, it's really our money. Why do you think the Democrats take your money and do what the fuck they want to do with it? Because it's their money. But they say it's our money. Oh, we're going to save you this. We're going to save you that. But they taxing your ass over here and taxing your ass over there. Oh, we're going to get you this and we're going to get you that. But they take your money from you from over here and they take your money from you over there. But they saying they're going to do some shit for you.
For he would relate on the basis of what our crops really meant. So you have to be careful in setting up the new language, for the slaves would soon be in your house, talking to you man to man, and that is death to our economic system.
Because you can't have slaves, right, acting like they citizens. You can't have slaves, right, or niggas in the same position that you're in. You can't have slaves as your equal in your house, right? You can't have them, right? So why you think this Jewish community, shit like that, only have a certain level that you can reach? Because you can't be in our house. We can't see you as an equal, right? Because that goes against everything we keep secret.
For example, if you put a slave in a hog pen and train him to live there and incorporate in him to value it as a way of life completely,
which is the ghetto. And you put a pig in a pig pen and say, look, man, this is it right here. This is fantastic, right? This is fantastic. This is a pig pen. I fixed up this pig pen for you, which is the city you stay in, which is your community, which is your neighborhood. That shit is hell. But they telling you it's heaven.
the biggest problem you would have out of him is that he would worry you about provisions to keep the hog pen clean, or take the same hog pen and make a slip and incorporate something into his language where he comes to value a house more than he does his hog pen. Now you've got a problem. He will soon be in your house.
Huh? So you can't have him value his house, right, or his hog pen, whatever, with his community, right? You can't have him value his community, right? Because you got to have him value his house where he stay at. You can give him a house, but you can't give him a community. Because if you give him a community, he probably rise. He probably do swell. He probably prosper. And then guess what? He's going to be at the same level you at. Looking you eye to eye. Making business deals with you. And you don't want that. Because you don't want a slave or a hero or a Negro to turn into a hero. You don't want that. I just had to make this video because I was mad because the Democrat didn't get the red wave and shit like that. But I had to let people know, right? Black people, you made a mistake on not voting for the. I mean, we probably still get the Senate, and we probably still get the House. We're gonna get the House, right? But we have to start waking up as a people and start voting with the same party that has been enslaving us and enslaving our ancestors, and is using different tactics to keep us in prison with our mind and also our bodies, right? If they wanted to stop us from killing each other, if they wanted to bring black unity, how are we gonna have black unity when there's not no black families? You can't have unity without no family. They hollering black unity, black unity. Who are we gonna unite with? You have to have a black family in order to have black unity, or it cannot be no black unity without a black family. Right? We have to unite in our homes before we can unite in the community. And then we can unite in the community, then we can probably unite as a people. But we can't go to number 2 before we go to number 1. We can't unite the people before we unite the family. That's impossible. And we can't reunite the country, or we can't unite the people if we don't unite our community. That's also impossible. So everything we talking about we're going to do, or everything we talking about this uniting shit, we can't do that until we take the small steps. And the small
We got some breaking news tonight from the NBA. The Brooklyn Nets have announced that they are...
And the small steps start with getting a house together. Once we get our house together, maybe we can get our kids together. Maybe we get our kids together, maybe we get our community together. Right? Then we get our community together, then maybe we can help our people. But until then, I guess you stay in your community and do your shit, and I stay in my community and do my shit. That's exactly how the white man wanted it. And you know exactly what white man I'm talking about. Not none on this damn page. Because they donate to my channel. They take care of a nigga. You know what I'm saying? And they love me. They share me. Somebody share me. I got to go through that video. Somebody share me on another channel. Talk about the Hunter Biden video. I got to give special thanks to that person as soon as I find out their name again. But my white people love me. They love a nigga right here. You know what I'm saying? They let me be myself. They don't tell me to be somebody else. They don't tell me to talk a certain way. They don't tell me anything. They say you're funny. We like your video. Like the truth. They promote me. They do all that shit. My boy 160 come and see me. So I don't have no problem with white folks, right? I'm just quoting, right, on what the society and what America has done to black folks, and we know what party has done it, right? You can tell by their policies, right? You can tell by their history. You can tell by all that, right? This is not no Republican Party thing. This is a Democratic Party thing. The Democrats are doing this shit to us, right? I've been living in a Democratic city all my life, me and all my friends, right? Most of us been in prison, right? Most of us ain't got the proper education, right? Most of us ain't got the proper background. Most of us ain't got most of us don't own a house. Most of us don't own a business, right? Most of us don't own shit because guess what? We wasn't taught we can do that. We wasn't taught we can do better. We weren't taught that. We had to learn after we went to prison. We had to learn after we had babies. We had to learn after we went homeless. We had to learn after we got shot. We had to learn all kind of shit after the fact. We couldn't learn it before the fact. We had to go through some shit in order to become a man, right? We wasn't taught to be a man. You got to go to prison. You got to do this. You got to have a baby. You got to man up. It's certain losses you got to take before you say, fuck it. Let me man up. Because you wasn't taught to be a man back then. My son didn't have to go through that because I was in his life, right? So when he was decided to be a man, he didn't have to go through all the shit I had to go through. He became a father, took care of responsibility, and became a man. He didn't have to go to prison. He didn't have to look for guidance and understand what am I supposed to do, where am I supposed to go, how am I supposed to act, what am I supposed to say. He didn't have all of that. Well, he had me. You can't go here. You got to be here. You got to stay in school. You got to do that. He had the fear of me in his life. And then when my baby mama took him out of my life, that's when the fear of me went out of his life. That means he can not go to school, right, and face no consequences, right? That means he don't have to do work and not face no consequences. That means he probably could talk back to his mother, do all kind of stuff, and not face the consequences as if a daddy was there. And the cold thing about it, me and my son so tight, he understand that, and he told me that. He like, I knew I would have been a better man if I would have had you in my life because I thought you would have had me in sports. You would have made sure this, you would have made sure that. You would have made sure, because I knew the history of what you was doing early on in my life. So I only can imagine what you would have done in high school if I was around. I only can imagine what I would have been able to do in junior high if you was around. I only can imagine the confidence I had, right? My mother didn't push me. She didn't push that in me. And he knew he could have done better. And I'm like, damn, that's big of you to say some shit like that to me. You know what I'm saying? That, like, you know, and not hold me responsible because you know I tried my best and you know it wasn't my fault. Because sometimes a woman that's not right mentally or not right spiritually can ruin two men's life, right? She can ruin two men's life. She ruined my life, and she ruined my son's life. Not to the point where she fucked us over. I'm talking about the connection. I could have been a better man, and he could have been a better son. You know what I'm saying? We both could have been better off, and we would have had that connection, and we could have grew with each other. I would have been more successful, and he would have been more successful. Instead of me searching and doing all this other stuff, trying to find him and be a father, I could have been a father, you know what I'm saying, and have that responsibility added on to the father I was. Shouldn't allow me to grow with my son. And that happens to a lot of black men. I know a lot of black men that want to be fathers that could be damn good fathers, but it's a woman that don't want to allow them because she got her own attitude, she want to be with the dude, or she get a check, or whatever the case may be. It's multiple different reasons. Mine was because she wanted to be with me, and she was just a bitch. You know? So I'm glad my son understand that now. And he kind of respect me, you know what I'm saying, more than he respect her. It took him time to realize it, but you got to go through some shit sometimes, and you got to realize some shit before you understand it. We spend a lot of time talking on the phone. When I get I'm saving up to get a new car. I'm finna start going out there and seeing him and my grandson, spending more time, bridging that gap between that generation and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, and hopefully not make up for lost time. I can't make up for lost time, but what me and him can do right now is we can start from where we left off. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully that's this month. Like I said, I got to get me a new car because he live in Lancaster. You know, I got a little car problem. So what I'm finna do is I'm finna save up, I'm finna get me a new car hopefully this month, and I'm finna go start visiting my son and my grandson on the weekend. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna film some stuff and stuff like that. Gonna be a father and son thing, make some skits, some movies, or whatever. I'm gonna bring them into it. You know what I'm saying? Because now we're closer together, we can do more things, right? And I always knew it was gonna happen because when me and my son was having problems. You know what I'm saying? I had to step back and let him do everything for himself and let him fall and make the mistakes for himself. I didn't want to be there to crutch him and stuff like that. Okay, you don't need me in your life? I'm going to step back then. I'm going to let you be what you want to be. Right? And he didn't need me in his life until he understood that he needed me in his life. And that's when I came right in. I didn't say, hey, I told you so, or anything like that. I didn't grill him. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you stupid. Hey, I'm here. Whatever. Because guess what? My mama done that to me. Remember, my mother was beefing. You know what I'm saying? We didn't talk for a year. And then I happened to go to jail. Guess what? My mother was the only person I can call. And she's like, you know what? Don't worry about nothing. I got you. Don't worry about it. I got you. I ain't talked to my mother in years. We was beefing. She's like, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Nothing said. She didn't ask me for no explanation. She didn't say, what you in jail for? I told you. We wasn't talking for a year. We had a falling out. I went to jail. The only person I can call was my mother. And I remember that day, she's like, don't worry about it. I got you. Whatever it is, I got you. So my son came back to me like, oh, no, you said I told you, stupid motherfucker. Like, hey, whatever you need, I got you. Damn, what you was mad about me for, you know what I'm saying? Whatever my mama done to me, I'm going to do it to you. Whatever you need, I got you. Ain't no hard feelings. You had to learn the hard way, whatever you went through and stuff like that, but I'm here now. What do you need me for? Right now, my son don't need me for no money. You know what I'm saying? Even though I like to do stuff with my grandson, all he need me for is guidance. He need me for a voice. He need me to be his mentor now. You know what I'm saying? Because he already a man. He already in his conviction. He just like to talk to me and kick this shit, right? You know, every time I used to call him, he didn't answer the phone sometimes, right? Now he can't wait for me to call. He called me, you know what I'm saying? Now it's a joy. We talk for hours about all kind of shit. We didn't have that connection because his mother took that away from me. And like I said, I'm only saying this story because I know it's a lot of other men that I know personally that are like me, that want to be good fathers, right? And it probably would have worked. Maybe it probably would have worked with me and his mother, right? Because like she went on the system, she went and the system helped her out, and she couldn't have a man and all that shit. But what if the system would have helped both of us out? What if the system said, okay, you the father, we're gonna help you out? Maybe we would have been together. But it was more of like, I gotta go here, I gotta go through this program, and she was going through programs, she's doing this and trying to get housed and shit like that. And I'm a man, I'm young, I'm in the street, so I'm doing my thing. Well, I can't be with you. You doing your thing. Go ahead and do your housing, get your housing. I gotta do my thing. They not letting me in the housing. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta do my shit. But there's no programs for a man, right? Even when I tried to I tried to get my son to get on the system, they wouldn't even let me. They're like, you got to do this. They gave me the total runaround. They don't treat black men the same as they treat black women. And like I say, I know it's a lot of good black men out there that just like me, just want to take care of their kid. If they not with their baby mother, you know what I'm saying, they would like to be an opportunity to at least be with another woman and take care of her kid. Like I would be a good stepfather, right? But you got women nowadays don't trust men in the house, right? They will come on my house. I can go over their house when the kids sleep and the kid going and stuff, but they don't trust no man in the house. They will never be with me, or we can never build a relationship. It'll probably just be a sex thing because she can't be having a relationship. She don't want no kid. She don't want no man around her kids, right? Some of them because of their daughter. I got a daughter. I don't want no grown man around my daughter, right? Let me push mute. I don't want no grown man around my daughter, right? And some don't because niggas are molesters, right? And some of these women actually got molested or something when they was younger. Some of them tell me, right? So I can understand that they don't want a man in their daughter's life. You know what I'm saying? The daughter, you know what I'm saying? But I had a question, right? And it made some females think, if you don't want a man in your house, right, is you don't trust your daughter, you don't trust your man, or you don't trust yourself, right? Because if you don't trust a man, why are you fucking a man that you can't bring around your daughter? If you can't trust your daughter, that must have been something you installed in your daughter that you fear that she could do. And if you don't trust yourself, right, that's something you need to deal with because you're depriving yourself of a good man, possible good man, and possibly depriving your daughter of a good role model. You know what I'm saying? So who you don't trust in this equation? It has to be one, right? So it's a lot of women that don't want men in their house because of that very issue, right? Some of them don't want to fuck up their benefits, but for whatever reason, right? Black women saying they don't need a black man. I don't want no black man. I don't need no man. I'm not looking for no man, right? So when you're not looking for a man, you're saying I'd rather be a whore. Because I'm not going to dedicate myself to you. I'm not going to commit myself to you. You come over here and do something sometimes or whatever, right? I come over there, but I'm not just going to do it with you. I'm also doing it with him. I'm also doing it with her, because I'm not committed to nobody. A lot of women take pride. A lot of black women take pride in that shit now. I'm single and I ain't got no niggas. And they post it on Facebook. They take pride in that shit. And that's not something you used to take pride in. That's something women used to dread, not having a man, not having a father figure in their house. We went from that to not giving a fuck. That's all done by design. Well, let me get up out of here. That's the end of the show. I'm going to talk to y'all later, right? But think, black folks. I need y'all niggas to think. Get out of this slave mentality. Get out of this slave mindset. Get away, break away from the chains. We got all kind of opportunities. Black people, we got billionaires, we got all that shit. But we so scared of white people, we scared of according to Democrats, we supposed to be scared of everybody. We're scared of the white supremacists. We're scared of the Jews. We're scared of the police, right? We're scared of the Republicans. We're scared of black people. We ain't scared of shit. Get your shit together. Stop letting these white people tell you what you scared of and what you need and how they gonna help you. Say fuck them. I don't need your handout. I'm an independent black man. Do you know what my people done in this fucking country? Do you know my American history? Huh? Do you know how strong the black woman is, like Harriet Tubman? Do you know how gangster a black man can get, like Nate Turner? Huh? Do you know how educated a black man can get, like Langston Hughes? Huh? Do you know my motherfucking history? Do you know we had a nigga named Jack Johnson? Do you know all the barriers we done broke? Well, the first black world champion, the first nigga to enter the sports, the first nigga to win a Grammy. Do you know how many grounds we done broke? Yeah? You know how much history we got in America? Right? Damn African history. Motherfucker, I got American history. Huh? You know what my grandfather, great-great-grandfather done for this motherfucker? You know what my country, you know my people been in it? I got history. I've been through more shit than the average motherfucker. You trying to tell me I'm not American? And my people been through all kind of shit and I'm not American? Why I gotta put African American on my shit? Why I can't put American? Why I gotta put a color on my shit? Why I can't put American? And we all American. I gotta put white, Angelo Saxton and all that. Why I can't put American, motherfucker? Why I gotta have a description on who I am? That you know, they don't think you are shit. You gotta let them know. I got history. My people are great. My people survive. Right? Whatever you done to my people, guess what? We were strong, Democrats. You tried to put the Jim Crow on the Democrats, and guess what? We broke out of that shit. Democrats, you didn't want us to vote. You put marbles in all kind of shit. You said we couldn't vote if that was Democrats. That wasn't Republicans because we had Republican senators. How the fuck you gonna say the Republicans was depriving people of the vote, and we had black Republican senators? The Democrats had zero. What do you think the KKK was for? Huh? It wasn't for killing no black people. They was killing white people. Look at all the black Republican conventions, right? I can Google that shit up right now. Black public conventions, right? All the people was at the black public conventions, not just black, right, but Republican conventions, and the KKK or the Democrats that killed everybody. 50 black people, three white people at one. 27 white people, 27 black people, 5 white people at another one. They wasn't just killing black people, they was killing Republicans, because guess what? Black people were Republicans, and guess what? White people supported Republicans. They had a card they used to run around with for niggas that was Republican, that was politicians. We can kill you on sight. They had a card like on the back, like an ID card. This is a nigga hunting card. You have an obligation to kill these niggas. They Republicans, huh? Kill. Either your ass gonna get killed or your ass gonna quit the Republican Party. Some motherfuckers say, "Hey man, you gonna have to kill me." I'm a Republican, huh? They don't talk about the black people that died for the Republican Party, huh? Why don't have history on that? They're gonna ban me for that? What about the black people, right? That was holding conventions for the Republican Party, voting in black men in Texas, right? 4th of July. The massacre didn't happen 4th of July. That's when they started the party. They started the black party on 4th of July, right? They're having black conventions with the white people on Republican shit, and the white people came and killed, the Democrats came and killed all the Republicans. Google it if you don't believe me. Look up Democrats kill Republicans. Let me see. Look up Google Democrats kill Republicans at a Republican convention, right? Google it. Let me see. Democrats, let me see. Wait, let me see. Democrats murder Republicans in Republican convention in 1800s. Let me see. Narrow it down, right? Well, let me see. Let's say shopping, right? Landmark legislation, civil rights, right? Democrat, this the one right here? Hold on, where this shit at? High Party, Lincoln, Republicans. It was 1856, I think. Where this shit at? Black in Congress. Where this shit at, right? It was a couple of events. They killed a couple of people at the Republican National Convention. Democrats came, ride with horses and sheets on and shit. Like, where them black Republican conservative niggas at, huh? We don't, you know what I'm saying? You niggas supposed to be Democrats. What you roll with the Republicans? They was killing niggas saying y'all from the wrong party, right? We killing niggas we killing niggas that are from the Republican Party. Come on, damn thing. I'm trying to see this one. It's governmentinfo.com. It's long. I want to see what year that they killed the Republicans in. I forgot what I done a show on that. They killed the Republicans and shit like that. Know your history, black folks. How many Republicans died for your civil rights? How many Republicans died for your freedom? Democrats died to keep your ass enslaved. They didn't die for your fucking freedom. Huh? If they want to talk about history, let them talk about history right. How many people, Abraham Lincoln, died for your freedom? Huh? How many black Republicans died for your freedom? Damn it, they're not showing that damn thing. They're not showing 1840 North Carolina parties, state election, state government. They're not saying it. I don't know where it's at, but I had a video on it, damn it. 864 It was in North Carolina. That's what it was. North Carolina in 1894. Right? But what I'm saying is, how many Republicans died for your rights? Huh? Think about this. When slaves was escaping, right, they was running to people's house. People was running, and white people was running to people's house like, oh, you got a slave in your house? What a nigga at? They found out they had slaves. They killed white people for holding slaves and take the niggas back to the slave plantation. They killed the white people and saved the black people. Ain't that a bitch? We're gonna kill you for hiding the black people, and we're gonna take the black people back to work. Huh? Well, let me get up out of here. That's enough preaching for today. Let me get up out of here. It's been a joy messing with y'all and talking to y'all and fucking with y'all. Let me get up out of here. I'll talk to y'all in a minute. Let me get up out of here. Let me go do some shit. I got to do some other shit. Thank y'all for coming out, man. I had to go to church for a minute right quick. Go to church. End it, damn it.